This is the South Florida Radio Network.
And now live from Rigel 7, it's the Neil Rogers Show.
I like the ease of this on 4-bit writing. Plenty of time like the American Pie thing. Melody guide so I don't sing off key. This is my favorite karaoke.
Yeah, I love the way that bit ended. The bits haven't been the same since Boca Brian died.
I know.
I heard that was some party Greg Reed threw.
Yes.
Good thing I didn't go.
Lots of dancing.
Of course, it's not easy flying back there from Rigel 7.
I know.
Thank God.
Oh, God.
I'm here. It's all over for you poor schleps stuck on Earth.
Yes.
President Noel. Well, if you're lucky, that crackhead is the last Bush to rig an election. Who's on this line?
Mr. Rogers?
Speaking.
I was in the Publica Galactica today, sir, and let me tell you, the clip-out coupons in Thursday's paper are deceiving. I discovered to my shock
this is
at the checkout counter
Yes, I know.
that Stones was not 2 for 99 cents. On the contrary,
Cut 'em off.
it was 2 breakstones for 99 cents each. Now, I don't know about you.
That's fine.
They tried to peddle me 2 breakstones for the price of 2 breakstones cottage cheese when the coupon clearly stated that...
Well, use the cottage cheese that's growing in your toenails. Now, who's this on line 7 and 9? Klingon Penal Colony, hello? Ever got into that?
Retired.
Okay, on that note, I got to renegotiate my contract. How about a 1-minute show, huh?
Oh!
You can fill the other 3 minutes.
That's fine.
Sporto Concubine is next. George?
Bye.
Now back to the Neil Rogers program on 1240 WGBA. Here again, America's youngest talk show host, 6-year-old Neil Rogers.
Okay, I guess we're done with mail. And there's 4 minutes left in the hour. So let's take some calls. Orleans, hello.
Yeah, Neil, how's it going?
Great.
That's good. Listen, I canceled my subscription to the Rochester Democrat and Chronicle.
The good old DNC. What an abortion that paper is.
Then I asked how many other people did likewise, and they said none of my business.
Yeah, well, they're real nice over there.
Okay, well, I just thought I'd let you know.
You're a fine American. Have a nice life. Walu. Hello.
I want to speak to Neil.
You got him.
Am I on?
Yeah.
Neil.
Yeah.
Neil, you're a stinky, pinko, glue-sniffing bedwetter and a pansy.
Great call. Best of the day so far. Did he say pansy? Where does he get off? What a mung brain. I ride my bike 30 miles every Saturday to do this show, and this guy calls me names. Shame on you, sir. Shame on you. By the way, have you seen some of those bag boys at the new AMP? Now, what are you cackling about, eggs? Is this my son? 1,000,000 producers in the world, and they stick me in here with an egg. Shut his mic off. Seneca Castle, hello.
Oh, Neil, you used to be such a nice boy, and now you're so terrible.
Yeah, but you can't shut it off. You can't shut it off. I don't need this. I have offers from other stations. Batavia, Elmira, Fredonia. But instead, I stay here and entertain you grotesque, subhuman doodlebags. Unbelievable. Geneva, hello.
Hello, is this Neil Rogers?
What kind of phone are you on, sir?
How's that again?
Do you have a dial phone or what?
No, I had to put it to the operator.
Well, let's not get into that.
Hey, I was listening to Joey Reynolds on WKBW last night.
Somebody has to.
Did you hear what he's been saying about you?
No, I don't listen anymore. He's a doddering old man.
He claims he's only 40.
Yeah, right. And Dewey beat Truman, too. Oh, shut up, Egg. You're pathetic. And if you think he's bad now, wait till he hatches. Oh, boy. Okay, when we come back, maybe the egg will come out of his shell. But I hope not.
It's a lie. I am not a Nazi. It's a lie. I am not a Nazi. It's a lie. I am not a Nazi.
Okay.
It's a lie. I am not a Nazi. It's a lie. I am not a Nazi.
All right.
It's a lie. I am not a Nazi.
I have no line.
I
need some action.
No, it's a lie. I am not a Nazi.
You're full of crap.
It's a lie. 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 I am not.
Play something already.
Hey, Billy. Pull my finger.
Oh, boy, does he have a lot of chutzpah.
In closing,
Yes.
Can I get some of that
crap
you're throwing out?
Some of that what?
Some of that stuff you're throwing
You
out?
have to say it. That was the greatest call, and unfortunately, I disconnected him. I would give him some crap.
I
don't know what it is, but it's moving.
I am not. I am not. I am not. I am not. It's a lie. I am not a Nazi. It's a lie.
Okay, there's the promo for tomorrow.
You sound like some stupid, idiotic jerk.
Skyler make this thing you sent, Brian?
No, I mashed this.
Very nice. I recorded these.
No, just we'll tell the story after it's over.
Sure. I decided in order to get through this, I'm not going to try. If we do anything technically accurate on over the course of this week, it'll be a surprise to me because I'm just trying to get the content on that I want to, which is all the names, all the blasts from the past. We'll do the on-air online memorial. Everybody, oh Lord, I don't even know where to start. Just right away, first of all, there will be a public memorial service. It will probably be next week. Neil wanted to be cremated. For all I know, he already has been. I forgot to ask Norm that when I was talking to him this morning. But Norm has decided, and I agree. He was actually kind enough to ask my opinion. I agreed with it about when the public memorial service should be held. And the consensus is because there's so much going on this week, because a lot of people are out of town. A lot of people are off visiting relatives and families this week. That this week probably wouldn't be the best time. So he's going to wait until after the new year when the dust settles on the holidays. And there's going to be a memorial service somewhere that the public will be invited to where we can all get together. And Norm was kind enough to invite me to speak, and of course will be. And look, I got hankies for Christmas, Boca Brian, with my initial on them. It says J. It says J, and if you turn it upside down, R. Wait, backwards R. All right, like I said, never mind. How appropriate. How appropriate. My daughter had no idea, of course, when she bought me some hankies. She bought me some hankies because as soon as the weather drops, it's either allergies or cold, and I got a bad cold. And, maybe it had something to do with Neil and finding out about, his passing on Friday. But I was sick as a dog all weekend.
I think his system broke down.
There's no question. There's no question. I mean, I was already. Did I already say that? I already got the important information out that there's going to be a memorial service for the public at some point, and we're all going to, get together.
Right.
Next week after the New Year's, everybody take care of business this week. The business that we want to take care of this week is trying to get as many of the people that from Neil's life on the air and give everybody the appropriate amount of time to share some thoughts and memories about Neil. Ernie Sochin coming up today. We'll also be talking to Jaz McKay. Remember Jaz McKay? Do we have a Jaz McKay drop? Think we should get Jaz and Randy on at the same time.
Dave Caprita. Get you and Randy on at the same time.
Speaking of Randy, Dave Caprita. We'll be talking to Dave sometime in the 1 o'clock hour. Bob Green, Jennifer Rem are on deck. I'm not sure exactly when we're going to be talking to them. Want to get Irene Richards. Remember the real Irene Richards? Yep. Irene Richards is sick as a dog, but maybe later on in the week we'll get Irene Richards on. Guitar Man obviously is having computer problems. You can pick up the regular phone, Guitar Man. KJ, I know KJ left me a voicemail. I'll get back to you. Your wife will give you this message. I'll just send you a message on the air. Yes, KJ, visit the studio if you wish. And so there, we're going to get that's the agenda for the show. We're all going to vent and try to get it out of our system. It's and talk about getting flooded with emails. Apparently, I don't have enough communication devices because I was getting emails on the toilet, on the pop-up toaster. I opened up the refrigerator. There were some emails for people in there. I went to get a glass of water. A whole bunch of emails came out of the faucet.
How good were you to respond to all the emails?
I don't know if it was... good. Freud says, and I have a problem. I have mixed feelings about Freud. He made some good points. Everything that we do for ourselves. That's kind of what Freud thought. You do what you like best, or you avoid doing what you dislike the most. I posted on Friday. Let me just start at the beginning. On Friday, I found out Neil passed away at 9:45 Friday morning. I found out a little bit before noon, and I was in the middle of Christmas Crunch. All right, and it's not a breakfast cereal.
Or the next day.
Yeah. I was pretty. I mean, with I got family and family friends and a lot of people to buy presents for, and we have the Cuban Christmas was going to be happening that evening, Friday evening, and this was going to be. It was sad enough already because it was going to be our first family Christmas without my aunt, and everybody was wondering what that was going to be like. Well, guess what? It was like bad. Half the people didn't show up. As I could have predicted. She was the nucleus of the family. She was the sun that all of the family planets orbited around. Not just other family types, like each planet with its own moons and like little mini solar systems orbiting around this saintly woman. And everybody was off doing their own thing with other people. It was like 50% crowd at my cousin/godfather's house in the Gables. And he did it right, man. He got the Chinese hot box, the cajachina, with an entire pork in there. I took pictures, sent them out. But it was like people going through the motions, like now we eat, and now here's the gifts, and okay, we're done, bye, everybody go home. And I was obviously in a funk because of the whole Neil thing. So yeah, it was Christmas crunch time, and I was feverishly trying to get everything done before that evening and Christmas morning, and then the news came, and now what? Talk about derailing your train of thought, your train of activity, and then the emails started coming in, and the text messages, and the phone calls, and the Facebook messages. I'm not. This isn't a complaint. I'm not complaining. I'm just telling stories. And so I posted. We wrote a press release. We convened an emergency meeting of the staff. I worked on a press release. Thank you, Monica, Sherry, for helping me, because they walked me through the process. Because I just would have sat there staring off into space, not doing anything. That's what I would have done. That's what I was doing. And so people had to pick me up and drag me through what I needed to do, and I put that little disclaimer in the press release saying, look, everybody's writing me emails and asking me questions, inquiries, and I don't have the time to respond to everyone because there are just so many. And I posted that on Facebook as well. I don't have the time to respond to everybody. Because it would just take too long. And then I got sick. I was, I started feeling sick later that day. Coincidence? Woke up Saturday morning, Christmas morning, sick as a dog. We did the gift exchange thingy, and then I went right back to bed. I woke up, and then what? And then what did I do? I started answering emails and Facebook messages. And I finished last night. But I answered all of them. And I started feeling bad because you get into this groove, and I realized that I was saying a lot of the same thing to a lot of the same people, and I thought, they're going to think that I'm copying and pasting. There would have been nothing wrong if I had just, copy, paste the same thing to everybody. But no, and then I've realized after a while, it's like I'm saying kind of the same thing. Start incorporating people's names so that they don't think that I'm sending out a form response. Thank you, Tim. A lot of people asking questions about the memorial service, so I wanted to get that out there right away. And to all you other people that are calling, asking for copies of bits and things like that, how do I say this nicely? Should I say it nicely? No.
One word, just listen. Playing them all.
I know, but but they want copies. Really? Now? I'm getting really, really nice emails, really, really nice Facebook messages from people. I don't have time to read them all. There, variations on a theme, thanking, offering me condolences, expressing their sympathies, and then thanking me for my part of it, which was really, really nice. Because a lot of these people, and we're going to talk to people that precede me, like Captain Dave and Ernie Sochin. That's why we had Craig Worthing in here. People from the early days of Neil's career in this town. And a lot of people out there remember those days. But most of the people, the bulk of the people that I'm hearing from, because 20 years is a long time. They were listening to Neil for years, and 20 years is a long time. A lot of these people, they write this like, I was listening for Neil since, 10 years ago is a long time. I started listening to Neil 10 years ago, and that's a long time. Since he went to QAM, that's about 10 years. And that's a long time. But people asking, hey, can I get a copy of the bridge tender? Can I get a copy of the crepitation contest? Can I get a copy? And I talked about that last week. What business are you people in? What is it that you do for a living where I can go to wherever it is that you work and ask you to give me something that you do for money, for free? And Neil dies, and all you people can do, some of you people, way too many, all you can do, hey, too bad about the old man. Can I get a copy of blah, blah, blah? Really? Like, what is that supposed to be my Christmas present to you? What are you doing for me, asshole? What are you doing for me besides asking me to take time out of my really, really busy day to provide you free something that either we paid money for in the past or I acquired. I took a great deal of effort and acquired that. The recordings of The Godfather, the cello and the harp. I don't remember the cellist's name. Dumpy-looking guy with glasses.
The lady, right?
But the lady, Valerie Von Peachy Whitcup. Valerie Von Peachy Whitcup. Why do I remember that name? How could I forget it? Made it a point. And I would go down there. See, Rick and Suds used to have musical guests on in the morning, and they got a little bit kookier and kookier with their musical guests. Let's have a cellist in. Let's have a lady with a harp. Big old giant harp. Let's have the harp lady in.
Didn't you have to go down to the lobby to tape that?
She was down in the cafetorium, and I ran. They ran the microphones and everything, but then I went upstairs. I wanted to, every time that they brought one of these weird musicians in, I wanted to get a copy of the Godfather theme. Neil and I both like the Godfather very much, and we wanted to have the Godfather theme played on different instruments. And so, after the show, I went and did, some switch with wires so that we could record them in one of the production rooms, and then I would humbly request that they play the Godfather theme, and that's why we wound up with all these variations of the Godfather theme. It was because of me. And nice mashup there, Brian. Nice job with that. Should I call Ernie Sochin right now? I told him I'd be calling him in about an hour.
I've got my socks ready.
And I also told Jazz McKay we'd be calling him up. I'm not sure how to do all this stuff over here.
Where is Jazz, by the way?
He's in L.A. He's kicking ass. He's doing kind of a right-wing thing from what people have told me.
Aren't they all?
Yeah, well, he wants to eat. Let me know when you're ready to sell out, Boca, Brian. You want to do, think of it. Yeah. Look at this. Yeah, all the bits that you did, just do 180 with all the lyrics. Okay. You think you can make the same point, unmake the point, make the other point the other way around?
Right. There's a tool in my SoundForge where if I pull up an old bit, I can hit reverse.
Do you have a tool that removes your soul also? Yeah. Because that's what you're going to have to do.
Yeah, it's called Masters in Business Administration.
Yeah, so all you people, invalid phone number, no. Let me try this one more time over here, ladies and gentlemen. Freaking Ernie Sochin. How much did I put an extra number in here, an extra digit in here? Ernie Sochin? I told these people I was going to be calling them because that'll make it easier. I mean, and by the way, lines are ringing. I see that you people are ringing and calling up. We'll get to you. We'll get to you.
We can blow breaks. Go ahead if you want.
No, but I told Ernie that I'd be calling him right around this time, and I want to keep my word. I want to keep my appointments. Trying to be professional over here.
Good afternoon,
Ernie Sochin.
Speaking.
George Rodriguez, you're on with Boca Brian. I got my my friend Monica over here. Well, my cohort. I don't know what to call you. She's my voodoo witch doctor. That's what she is.
If I knew she was there, I probably would have driven up to Hollywood just to see. But another time.
I didn't know that.
You're welcome to come whenever.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know that that's the kind of guy that you were. But
I am just a dirty old man.
If that's what motivates you, I got you. All right.
At least your socks are clean.
I got the carrot and the stick. I got, first of all, Ernie Sochin. I already told you before the show, I've heard your name from Neil's mouth. That's it. That's the only reason that I know who you are.
Yeah, we've never met, and it's a shame, too, because I spent a lot of years with Neil. I go back to WKAT when he very first started over there and when he had guests as a normal part of his format. And I was the biorhythm guy.
Yeah.
And that was, at that time, it was a great thing because you'd measure the success of a talk show by how much the phones lit up.
Right.
And when I was on there with biorhythms, I don't know if you know anything about it. It's kind of
yes, I do. Trust me.
It's pseudoscience. It has some merit to it, but it's not a solid medical type thing. But people believed in it, and they'd want to call, and the phones would light up, and it was just tremendous.
Sure.
So Neil would have me back probably once a month, sometimes more often, because it was a guarantee to get people to call in. And we had a lot of fun with it. But as a result of that, I don't know if you remember a guy named Bob Lassiter.
Of course I do. Sure.
All right.
Rest in peace also, Bob. I met Bob and did a couple of radio shows with him up in Tampa while we were on the same station.
Yeah, well, he was down here, and as you know, he was a good talk show host, but he said a bad word one day, and they fired him.
Right.
And they needed someone to replace him, and Neil said, well, why don't you give Ernie a shot? And I auditioned, and it went very well, and so they put me on the air. And I was on for a good many years. I did weekends at just about every station that Neil was on, IOD, INZ, K8, you name it. And I was on there, and whenever Neil was out sick, they'd call me, and I'd run down and take over for him. And, of course, I loved it. Just being on the Neil Rogers show was a real feather in my cap. But we had a lot of fun, and it was great. And, boy, I miss it. I miss Neil. I miss my being on the air, and I miss talk radio as it used to be. It used to be a fun, entertaining media, and it just isn't anymore.
Well, it's not existent anymore except over here. We're keeping that alive. We have a lot of fun. Trust me. And if you don't believe me, come to the studio. I'll show you the kind of fun we have.
Well, I'm going to make a point.
It'll knock your socks off. Which brings me, I keep hearing about the socks. What the hell is the deal with the socks now?
All I can say, I used to kind of almost try to emulate Neil. I'd just throw some topic out there and see if it would catch. And I did about a 20-minute intro to a major problem that was facing our country, and I didn't say what it is. I just kept on building and building, and finally, after the break, I came back. I said, the big problem is what is happening to all those socks that disappear from the dryer.
This is an important problem. It's been plaguing me my whole life.
Well, obviously you're not alone, because the phones lit up, and I was on for 5 hours that day, and my producer said, you know, Ernie, you never gave the phone number out once. I was so busy answering calls, I never gave the phone number there. People were so fascinated by the topic. And what happened was some people really got into it. One guy called up with a very distinguished voice and announced himself as the CEO of Atlantic Knitting Mills. And as a result of listening to that show, he was designing a new product called Menage a Sock. I almost fell off the chair because for a guy to be that clever. And then people called up and said, well, you know, they're all communist socks. I said, how did you come up to that? He says, well, it's always the left sock that disappears. and the show just went on, and Neil heard it the next day. He couldn't believe that I did 5 hours talking about missing socks. But that was just one of my lucky hits. The true genius of Neil, I can explain this way. One time on one of my shows, I had 2 or 3 people call up, and they were complaining about the fact that these little old ladies in Hallandale were stealing the sweet and low packets from the restaurants and taking them home. Well, I said, you know...
That was you? You're the one that started that?
I started it, but I was bored with it. I said, who wants to talk about that? And I just blew these people off and hung up on them. The next day, Neil brought the topic up, and not only did he bring it up, he had much better than my sock program, because that went on for months. He had the mayor of Hallandale calling up to chastise him.
Was this Sonny Rosenberg?
Yeah. Yeah. He actually called him up and complained about him. What are you picking on the little old ladies for? And he went on. And that was his genius. He knew that something like that was going to get people riled up, and boy, did it ever. At that particular point, I remember his ratings went right off the chart because so many people were listening to see what he had to say about the little old ladies in Hallandale.
That's great.
One of the things that I remember another show that Neil did, and this was, I believe, a turning point for him. You know, a lot of people don't realize what an intellectual Neil was. I would have to say he was a brilliant guy. I mean, you could discuss almost anything with him. He was well-versed, well-read, and he had George McGovern on as an in-studio guest at the time he was running for president. Now, I would have killed to get a guest like that. My God, George McGovern sitting... And he couldn't even get a phone call. Nobody was interested. Who cares who's going to be president? You know, we're worried about important things like the missing socks and the sweet and low in Hallandale. And at that point, I believe he said, I'm just not going to do this thing with guests and to try to do a regular intellectual show, and I'm just going to give the people what they want. And boy, did he ever.
Sorry, I'm choking on a phlegm ball over here. I'm trying to operate around a corner.
I get choked up when I talk about him because the guy was just so great. And you know, listening to his show, I always use the analogy of why people slow down to see an automobile accident. They want to see if there's anything happening. And with Neil's show, you kind of had to listen to find out if anything was going to happen because you never knew.
That's right.
When he came out being gay, I mean, that was, you know, way ahead of the time, and people to this day, they'd say, oh, you know Neil, was he really gay?
they do. Like, why would anybody lie about that? Why would you make that up? Oh, that's good for my image.
Well, when he did it, it was something that people didn't talk about, and for a known person to go on the air and say, I'm gay, you just didn't do things like that. I almost got beaten up in the studio one time because there were a couple of guys. Do you remember, I think it was Jack Thompson, a couple of real, you know him?
Oh, not personally, no. I know of him.
But you know of him.
Very aware of, very up-to-date about that whole thing, yes.
Right. Right-wingers, you know, kill the fags and all that kind of stuff.
He's one of them.
And they were always so concerned about gays and so on. And I said, you know, people that are always dwelling on this gay issue, they probably have some kind of problems of their own.
No question.
Well, the guy came into the studio because he was doing talk with me at the time, and he wanted to have a fight. He says, you know, I want to step outside. I said, all I did was, you know, give my own observation about you guys, but he was just fiery about the thing. He couldn't even bring it up.
I don't know why it matters to any of those people. So you're a mayor now? You're in politics?
I'm a vice mayor. I'm in politics, which is kind of fun. It's not quite like talk radio. I get to go to a lot of functions, and I get invited to speak and so on, but I can't hang up on people, and I can't insult people.
Right, you have to lie all the time.
Right. I used to have a toilet sound effect, and when people would get on my nerves, I'd flush them down the toilet and go on to the next call.
Right.
And that was fun, except I was a salesman also at the time, and I was calling on a major buyer at Jefferson Department Store, if you can remember them.
Of course.
And I sat there showing him my product, and then he says,
You ready to put your head in the toilet bowl?
Sorry about that. That was Rick Riley. He can't stay off the air.
What are you vice mayor of? Where?
A town called Cutler Bay down south. It's a pretty decent-sized town. There are 42,000 people here. Unfortunately, they just appointed me as vice mayor, and now I very probably will have to run for that office again because something in our charter says that if Dade County has another election, I would have to run for that office. And I'm sure there's going to be another election for the recall for Mayor Alvarez, so I'm going to have to be on there running again.
Well, could you repeal the 96 Telecom Act for us?
I'm not that big. I can do that. Although I don't know, I'm going to be up in Washington talking to the big guys in a couple of weeks, so maybe I'll bring it up then. Send me the information on it.
Yeah. Are you still doing biorhythms? You want to do my chart?
No, I haven't. I've been away from that for long. That was a fun thing. I mean,
I had a chart made. We played with all that stuff, numerology and everything. I went through all that.
The biorhythm thing was, there was a doctor who used to check out the pilots at Eastern Airlines, and he used to actually check their biorhythms, and I was told that they were not allowed to fly if they had a certain, all the biorhythms were in a bad way. And we used to handicap, believe it or not, we would handicap sports events because we had the birthdays of all the players, and a whole bunch of the players were in a particularly bad way biorhythmically. You could almost count on that team to lose, and they always did. I mean, it was amazing. I never made any money doing it, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's like this. So, well, that's really good. I will have you. We'll have you in the studio one of these days, Ernie. If you're a good old man, I'll taunt you. I'll get some young girls in here, and they won't let you touch them. But
Would you believe I just got a Facebook connection when I was on the air? This gorgeous young girl came into the studio one time. I don't know why she came. She wanted to sing or something, so I let her sing. And this was maybe 20 years ago, and she just spotted me on Facebook or something and wants to have a reunion. So
Facebook's great for hooking up, isn't it?
Oh, great.
Ernie, it's a pleasure. Don't be a stranger.
Hey, guys, you've got my number. Give me a call. I'm sure I could get up there without too much difficulty, and we can sit down and chat. I got a million other stories I can throw at you.
That would be great.
I'll bet you do, Ernie. It's good being in touch with you. It's fun talking to you after all these years.
It's fun, and we're all going to miss Neil. That's for certain.
There's no question. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Ernie Sochin, take another one of these breaks. Come back. I'm going to get Jazz McKay on the horn. What do you think about that?
Yeah, buddy.
Does that sound good? All right. Coming back. All Neil Tribute Radio. SoFloRadio.com.
The Nicole Sandler Show. Weekday mornings at 10 on the South Florida Radio Network.
It was the greatest TV offer ever, the fabulous Ronco Vegematic. And now, attention ladies, in the labor-saving tradition of the Vegematic, Bobbit Co. presents the all-new Badgematic. Badgematic, the first feminine hygiene product that offers more than just feminine protection. Here's how it works. Your husband Earl is an abusive, alcoholic loser, and he's come home again late on a Saturday night.
Hey, baby, it's me, and I'm ready to party.
Actually, dear, I'm rather tired. I'm going to sleep. You're drunk, and I don't want you to touch me.
Earl doesn't know it, but she's inserted her brand-new Vagematic feminine protection device.
Let's boogie, baby. Ready or not, here comes Earl.
Earl, I must warn you, I'm wearing my new Vagematic, so please leave me alone.
Vagematic sounds kinky, baby. Let's do it.
I'm warning you, don't do that.
Oh, my God. Help me. I'm bleeding. Hey, my gone.
Sorry, honey, when I said no, I meant no.
Give me back my...
I don't think so. The Vagematic slices and dices and a puree.
No, not puree.
They won't be able to sew that back on. It's Vag-O-Matic. Real feminine protection from Bobbit Co.
What are you going to do with my honey?
I'm making sausages. Here, Fido.
Oh, no, not sausages.
Vag-O-Matic. Pitch the Ginsu knives. Throw out your machete and try a Vag-O-Matic. It slices, it snips, it mutilates, and it's beltless. And it even makes julienne fries.
No, not julienne fries.
Vag-O-Matic from Bobbit Co. Call now and receive a free pocket fisherman and our handy home suture kit.
Hi, I'm Lorena Bobbitt, and when it comes to feminine protection, nothing cuts the mustard like a Vag-O-Matic.
Vag-O-Matic. Order now. Call 1-800-866-7426. That's 1-800-86-ORGAN.
Thank you, Terrestrial Radio, for gift wrapping an entire audience and delivering it to our door. SoFloRadio.com.
When you're ready to actually lose weight safely and steadily while being monitored by a physician, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson is there for you. The family medicine practice was established by her father in 1956 and continues as a medical practice that now specializes in weight reduction. Dr. Kim Jacobson joined the practice 20 years ago as both a family medicine practitioner and weight loss specialist. The Weight Loss Clinic utilizes a combination of appetite suppression medication and vitamins to produce great results, usually 3 to 4 pounds per week for most patients. Now you can change your lifestyle while still enjoying your own food, just less of it. They offer a choice of 2, 3, or 4-week plans. So whether you just need to lose a few pounds or a lot, the Weight Loss Clinic of Dr. Kim Jacobson can help you. They're located at 5454 Northeast 4th Avenue in Miami, just 2 blocks west of 54th Street and Biscayne Boulevard. Call them at 305-751-0091. They'll be happy to answer any and all of your questions. That's 305-751-0091. Get started on a beautiful new body today with Dr. Kim Jacobson and the Weight Loss Clinic.
Monday nights will never be the same. Silverman on Sports invades SoFloRadio.com. Join Bruce Silverman and his cast of characters as they take on the world of sports every single Monday night from 7 to 9 here on SoFloRadio.com. Don't miss a minute of the
SoFloRadio.com. Give us a call at 954-99-00036. Skype name SoFlo Radio. Mobile users call 954-990036.
It's new from D's Discount Productions. Yes, potential car thieves, be on notice. You will now be thrown back from any car you try to steal with the piercing sound of the all-new Macarena alarm. Yes, the Macarena alarm. Get yours today.
Eugene's dinner time. Oh, no, another night of cheap Italian food in a can.
Yo, man, check it out.
Who are you?
It's me, Homeboy ID.
What?
Yo, man, toss out your skettios and get down with some Homeboy ID sketty hoes. You know what I'm saying?
You got a can opener?
Yeah. Yo, man, and Homeboy ID got all kinds of stuff, and it's all made homie style.
Oh, boy.
It's Homeboy ID, and ain't no little servants neither. You can feed the whole crew with our all-new gang-size can.
Well, gee, that's large.
Come on, man. Get with the plan and get the food in the can that tastes like the food in the can.
Homeboy ID. Drive by and pick them up. The sell.
The media is sick and needs help badly.
Come on, everybody.
Yo, look here, man.
We gonna play a game.
Say what?
We be flipping scripts around. And Ephonics be the name.
Yo, what you talking about?
You take a funky dope word and bust some skills to make it rhyme.
Gotta bust some skills?
Check out what I've been kicking.
What you talking about?
You have it down in no time.
Show up.
Skeezer.
Skeezer, for visa, for banter, for visa, beat right, for visa.
Skeezer. Let's be new homie.
Homie, for boney, for banter, for boney, beat right, for boney.
Homie. Yo, this be amplified.
be boning.
Banana, keep back for boning.
Now try old Uncle Buck.
Banana, keep back for Buck.
Buck.
Ebonics Day. Ebonics Day.
2201, SoFloRadio.com. George Rodriguez, Boca Brian, Monica, Black Magic Monica, and I'm trying to get Jaz McKay on the phone as we speak. I should have timed it a little bit better, but I didn't want to all ringy, wanted it on the air. Jaz McKay, who does not do text messages, by the way. I tried that, because I'm getting a lot of phone calls from people, and I'm just not answering them if I don't recognize your number. And in some cases lately, even if I do. Hello, Jaz McKay?
Yes.
George Rodriguez, how are you?
Hey, doing good, George. How are you?
Well, I'm sad. As you know, very morose. It's a sad time. Leave it to Neil to choose to die on Christmas Eve. He had contempt for Christmas, so I'm pretty sure that he did that on purpose. He timed it all. We do a lot of back timing in radio, as you know. So I think he started working on this back in October. He's like, I'm just really going to ruin Christmas for everybody. Watch this.
Mess it up for everybody in South Florida.
Yeah, that's the kind of bastard that he is. Well, it's nice talking to you, Jaz. We had a little brief exchange this morning setting this thing up. We hear about you every now and then. Heard that you're rich, that you sold your soul to the devil, and you're over there on the West Coast. But that's okay. We're wondering what the souls go for these days. We're actually considering doing the same thing.
$2.85 actually. $2.85 an hour.
That's not bad. Jaz McKay, where are you? Because I know you're kicking ass. You're in California.
We're in Bakersfield. I'm in Bakersfield. I've got a #1 rated talk show in Bakersfield. Actually, #1 show in my time slot. Occasionally get my butt kicked by a Mexican radio station, but you know how that is.
Well, that'll do it.
Oh, man. I've never had that butt kicked by Mexican before.
I'm doing great here, and, I had heard that Neil had come back to Florida and was in a hospice a couple of months back, and, prayed for him and hoped for the best, but I assume that once you end up in a hospice, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And I wanted to let everybody know how much Neil meant to me. He, back in about, good heavens, 1987, 88, when I was in Florida, I was working at Hot 105 doing one of those, good guy morning radio programs. Hey, everybody, wake up at 77 degrees in the city. And I heard Neil for the first time, and it changed my outlook on radio. And when I left Florida, I went to Michigan, and I sort of did a Neil Rogers-style morning radio show at a classic rock station up there. It's funny, George, because I would get calls or I would get criticisms from people say, oh, you're just ripping off Howard Stern. You're ripping off Howard Stern. And I would respond by saying, no, I'm not. I'm ripping off Neil Rogers.
Right. There's no comparison. I listened to Neil for years before I heard one word of Howard. And when I did, I thought, this is what they're comparing Neil to? Are you kidding me? Really? This droning, boring guy that doesn't say anything funny or clever or witty or shocking. I never understood where the shock jock comes from with Howard. I thought, he's just saying stuff I've heard other people say a million times.
He was talking. Howard found a niche, and Howard found that niche nationwide, and that's why Howard became such a phenomenon. What made Neil special was the fact that he did what he did, earning those kind of dollars in one town in South Florida. I think that's amazing for this man's career to have spanned the length of time it did. And I know you worked with him for. My God, you were there when I was at WILD with him. You'd been together for
19.5 years, man. It would have been 20 years in October if the show hadn't, been dismantled the way that it did. I like to, one of the things that I'm doing when I reconnect with people like you, Blast from the Past, is I get to tell you what Neil said about you behind your back. Are you ready?
Go for it.
Well, I don't know if you remember, but because Gary Bruce, and I got to get Gary Bruce on the horn, one of the good things that I'll say about Gary Bruce is that he was always shopping for new talent. I guess, he fought for and got a budget to fly people in from all over and test drive them on the weekend, see how they reacted to stuff.
He flew me in to audition for a weekend show.
Right.
You never see that. That's not. They don't.
And I board opt. I was, if I recall, I was your first board op there at the station. I was there that day. Here comes this biker guy, and you still with Vicky?
No, as a matter of fact, I am married now. Going on 5 years with my beautiful wife Laura here in Bakersfield.
Okay. And in any event, I remember that first day, and also remember we went out to Joe's Stone Crabs for lunch. One of the 3 times that I went there. One of the reasons that I hate that place because they got butter on the menu. You have to buy the butter if you want some butter for your rolls. Yeah, you have to butter that. You, Gary. I don't know if Neil was there for that meeting, but I got to tell him a report, and I gave him it's like a biker guy. It's a biker. I mean, I didn't really know how else to describe you. I said it's just a biker. Just imagine a biker, and he rides the motorcycle, and then he starts talking. I had no idea what to say, but Neil heard you. And he said, "There's something to it. He's got personality. He's got delivery. He liked you. He genuinely liked the show that you did. And he would always talk about the crypt that you'd bring in. He's got that wife of his, a girlfriend of his. He's got this giant coffin. It's a giant crypt, and he doesn't carry it. He's a big burly guy, but he makes this little woman carry this thing around, and she does carry all this stuff. But he gets on the air, and he's got this thing where he browbeats the audience, and he's got the whipping sounds, and he really appreciated the kind of show that you did. He thought that you had something. He thought there was something there. And he said so, and he didn't say that a lot about a lot of people that were on.
Well, I remember my first live weekend, I did a Saturday and a Sunday show, and I was tuned in on Monday to hear what Neil was going to say.
Mm-hmm.
I was tuned in to hear Neil. I didn't care if he was going to talk about me, but first thing out of the box, he starts kind of. I thought he was ripping me, and I was so depressed. I mean, this is my idol, Neil Rogers. He's ripping me to shreds. The callers are calling up. They're agreeing with Neil. He sucks. This guy's horrible. He shouldn't be on the air. He doesn't belong at WIOD. He's some kind of a rat bag, racist, homophobe. We're going through all this. And I was so bummed. And then the next day on Tuesday, Neil comes on the air, and he talks at the beginning of the show about how great my show was. Now, wait a minute. Yeah. He does a complete 180 here, and the callers are calling up agreeing with me, and I realized what a great shtick that is.
He didn't want to like you because, he didn't like biker types. He had a preconceived notion about what kind of a person that is, and he was all prepared to not like you, and he did. You heard what he did with Alex Bennett.
Oh, yeah.
Which is something. I wonder if Alex Bennett will come on the show.
Is Alex Bennett still alive?
I think. He's over there in San Francisco or something. Isn't that where he went back to? He didn't die, did he? Brian, I never heard about it. We would have heard if Alex Bennett had died.
He's on Sirius now.
Okay. Sure.
But, I love Neil's support. You remember when I was filling in for Randy Rhodes?
Yes. We're going to have her on possibly Wednesday, as a matter of fact.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
We should have you on together. You can make a nub on the air.
I got on before she did. Hey, she'll love that. No, she was listening to me doing that night show that she did. You do know why? Well, of course you do. You know why I was brought in was because her contract negotiations were up for the next couple of years, and she was wanting an arm and a leg, and Gary Bruce basically wanted to say, dangle in front of her, hey, we got this guy Jaz McKay over here, we can take him from weekends and put him on your slot and get rid of you, which basically they did at one point. But she was ripping me. She was calling the show.
Food.
She was calling the show and giving me a hard time, George. You remember this?
Yes,
and she hung up on me. And then you got a tape of it from the logger tape.
Yeah.
Because Neil hadn't heard it. And you played it for Neil. And at the end, when she hung up on me, there was this long pause, and I went, what a bitch.
You called her a Jew bitch, actually.
A psycho Jew bitch.
Are you
yes.
listening to me? No.
That was great.
No question. I wonder. We have a lot of drops, and we might have that one in here right now. But
Hey, bitch!
I guess I'm looking for the Jaz McKay calling Randy a Jew bitch. Do we have that, Boca Brian?
No, I don't have it on me.
We had that for the longest time. We actually saved that. That was in the DCS for the longest time. You said it really quickly. It was hard to understand. It wasn't a good quality drop, so I never played it much.
No, yeah, it came off the logger tape, which runs at about I don't know how many feet.
The logger reel to reel.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, do we go back? How old are you now, old man?
52.
Lordy.
That's right. We cried on this show.
That's right. We'll be doing your eulogy very soon, I'm sure.
Very soon, I'm sure.
Are you still tearing it up? Are you still drinking?
Of course.
Okay, good. I didn't want to have to change my opinion of you. Ever visit town? Ever get over here to the East Coast?
Haven't been to Florida since those days, actually, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, if you ever...
I mean, I would love to get out of California. If I was going to get out of California, I would either come to Florida or I'd go to Texas to avoid state income taxes. The overregulation of the taxation here in California, as you probably know, I mean, businesses are moving out of this state at a record pace.
No, I did not.
Thankfully, November 2nd, I mean, you'll be surprised. Yeah, I'm a Republican. Thankfully, November 2nd, the rest of the country got the message. And apparently, they didn't get the message here in California. They put Pelosi back in. They reelected Barbara Boxer, for the love of God.
There you go.
Is Linda Ronstadt still with Jerry Brown?
God knows who is with Jerry Brown. Can you believe that crap? I mean, of course, the Republicans run somebody like Meg Whitman against this guy. You got to be kidding me. Yeah, she had a chance to win.
Did you finally?
I think half the people that voted for Jerry Brown were not even here in the 1970s to see what a disaster he turned California into back then. So,
tell me, you either bought a motorcycle or abandoned the look.
I actually got rid of my last bike. As a matter of fact, about 5 years ago, in order to buy my wife a wedding ring.
Aww, how romantic! I could just puke.
Hell, I was too fat to ride the damn thing anyway.
Oh, there you go. Right, you needed to have those fat tires on there.
Yeah.
Well, shout out on the air. Listen, check out our little online radio station here. This is recorded. You can always play excerpts from it later. It's all downloadable and listenable on demand over here, SoFloRadio.com, and give us a plug over there on the West Coast. All those people that some people over here still remember how to do good talk radio.
Well, what's great about the time that I spent at IOD with Neil and you and Phil Hendry and all the Lincoln Suds and Randy. I still get emails, dude, from people saying, "Hey, I just found you on the internet," because we broadcast live on the internet from noon to 3 here Pacific time at knzr.com.
Listen, your name.
And I'll get people sending me emails. I remember when you and this and that, or Miami and blah blah blah, WIOD and yada yada. So that's really cool.
Before your email came in, you were already on the list of people that I needed to look for to get on here for the tribute that we're doing. Everybody, pretty much everybody. If you ever worked with Neil or had an excuse to talk about Neil, I'm getting them all on the show. And you were on the list, and then here's an email from you. So I'm really glad that you saved me some time.
Well, as a matter of fact, I got the message from one of my Facebook friends that Neil had passed. So I looked up the article from I guess the Herald.
Oh, we should friend each other.
Definitely.
I'm
I
looking
just
for you
friended
now.
Rick Riley, as a matter of fact.
I got to get Rick's going to be on, and we're going to try to get Suds on here. Oh, nice picture. Little kid with the hat. Is that you?
Yeah, that's me when I was a kid. I was about 7 years old.
I've got a similar picture of me about the same age with a stupid hat because my stepfather practically shaved my head on pictures. And my mom made me wear a stupid hat. Like, oh, this is going to look even better. A stupid hat. So
there you go.
There, I just sent you a picture.
If you check out the pictures there on my Facebook, you'll see how fat and ugly I've gotten. So.
Oh, beautiful. Well, as a matter of fact, let me go do that right now. While I have you on here, we can see my honest reaction. Oh, good Lord! What a lardo. You're going to be dead just very soon. Very soon you're going to be dead. I'm amazed you're still alive. Jesus Christ. Do you have...
See what he did to me?
Do you have...
You're not the only one. I mean, I just had a bout with bronchitis over the weekend. Oh. Thank God my wife had some leftover antibiotics to give me so I could kick its ass.
Do you have to ride one of those scooters? Do you shop at the mobility store, Jazz McKay?
I shop at Casual Men, the large, extra large, and triple Bubba.
Let me tell you,
size store.
Thank God for the internet.
Don't move faster than a slow walk, or you'll have a heart attack, my friend.
You know it, buddy.
Get on that treadmill.
You know it.
Jazz, it's a pleasure talking to you, man.
George, great talking to you. Boca Brian, great to hear from you too, buddy.
Don't be a stranger.
Thank you.
Hit me up on Facebook.
Right,
and all
buddy.
Yeah,
buddy.
Whoa! Nice clean wall. Shut up. We gotta do your thing. Do your see ya.
See ya.
Awesome. Thank you, Jazz McKay.
Thank you.
See you, buddy.
Right.
Bye.
See you, buddy. Well, that was his thing. See you, buddy. See you.
Wow.
We had a bunch of drops from Jazz. Boy, he's old and fat. Do a break. I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna try to get Caprita on next. What do you think?
Super Dave.
Just yes, Captain Dave Caprita. For you people who don't know, not only was he one of the Zeta crew in the morning when Neil was on Zeta, but an actor that you might have seen in some movies. Did you ever see My Girl with Macaulay Culkin?
Sure.
You saw that? Remember?
Sure.
Like one classroom scene where this really creepy, scary-looking guy gets up and he reads a story that's very heartfelt.
No.
No, right. Well, that was Dave. That was Dave Caprita. He was in that class. He was in a couple other things, too. I'll get him. I'll get. As a matter of fact, we could IMDb him. Ooh. He's totally on there. Save it. Come back to that. Make that be the last thing, because that's Dave. Not the only thing that he was on, right, Brian? What else was
he?
He
did a lot.
That's just, he has the crunchiest voice. You'll hear very soon when we come back. Go ahead and take a nice long segment. I'm happy with the pacing today. The pacing and the spacing. It's 5 till 1, SoFloRadio.com.
Longer, firmer, and fully packed with flavor. SoFloRadio.com.
Hey, young man. Listen, I've seen you hanging around my house and there's something I want to talk to you about.
What is it, Mr. Blake?
Listen here now. I'm going to put it this way. Was it you who did the pushing? Put the stains upon the cushion. Footprints on the dashboard upside down.
Say what?
Was it you Bronco Bill, been messing with my daughter Jill? If it was, you'd better leave this town.
Well,
what you gotta say?
Yes, 'twas I who did the pushing. Put the stains upon the cushion. Footprints on the dashboard upside down.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But since I'm messing with your daughter, I've had trouble passing water, so I guess we're even all around.
Why, you? Come over here.
Did you know that Johnny Carson ate Cab Calloway's baby to stay slim?
Where did you hear that?
I read it in the toilet.
Curious people want to know. Did you know there's a place just 6 feet under the earth where you go when you die?
Where did you pick that up?
I picked it up in the toilet.
Here's what you'll find in the toilet this week.
Princess Di gave birth to a 65-pound show horse.
John Candy's come back in a spaceship with a super new diet.
Bert is dating John Hinckley to make Warren jealous.
I'm sleeping with Joan Collins and I don't even know it.
Where did you read that?
In the toilet.
The National Toilet. Put a quarter in the slot and we'll wipe the world for you. Join the radio revolution. SoFloRadio.com.
Adventures in time and space, transcribed in future tense. The powwow.
Countdown for blast off. X minus 5, 4, 3, 2, X minus 1.
Disorder never sounded so good.
From the far horizons of the unknown come tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future. Adventures in which you'll live in a million, could be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine presents
The Powwow. Weekends at 12. Only on SoFloRadio.com.
Jan Michael Morris isn't just any attorney. He's your attorney. The Morris Law Office, handling your legal needs for more than 20 years, providing a wide range of legal services for those who need it most. Let Jan Michael Morris put his experience to work for you. Call Jan Michael Morris at his Boca Raton office at 561-395-4195 and speak to Jan Michael Morris directly. That's 561-395-4195. Or visit themorrislawoffice.com. Spokesperson is not an attorney. You asked for it.
Oh, when's Boca gonna make a disc? Please, won't you make a disc?
Disc after disc.
Oh, I'll buy one this time. I will. Really, I will.
After caving under the pressure of your demand, Boca Brian has made available to you a collection of hit bits, 8 erased, observational comedy about the Bush administration that never existed. Boca Brian. He sings, he dances, and stands on his head without wearing pants. You'll get the highly sought-after Condelieeza song, the Restitution Song, President Dumpshit, and many, many more. Now, all 10 of you can order your copy of Boca Brian's 8 Erased at SoFloRadio.com. Right there on the front page. That's Boca Brian's 8 Erased at SoFloRadio.com.
Endorsed by Fox News.
SoFloRadio.com. Give us a call at 954-99-00036. Mobile users call 954-990-0036. And for those of you living in the past, call Butterfield 990-0036. Skype name SoFlo Radio. While spending the remainder of your golden years in the land of death, the one thing you have to depend on is your car. With Jew canoe theft on the rise, the people who brought you a big black guy named Ben car alarm now bring you an old Jewish guy named Eisen.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
Remember when we used to boost them back in Caribbean? Yeah, we ought to get a bundle for this, baby. The white ones are cooler.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
What the hell is that?
I object seriously to profanity like that.
Slow down, I think somebody's coming.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF. Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
Whenever some bastard tries to steal my car, I feel safer with an old Jewish guy named Eisen.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
Get your old Jewish guy named Eisen car alarm now and receive a free flower antenna.
Get away from my automobile, you big MF.
An old Jewish guy named Eisen car alarm. Now available at all Zayre stores.
Sally fits when her batteries quit. Rick and Suds, when they're pulling their cuts. Joey blows, that most everyone knows. That's just great radio. Larry King with that bald spot thing. And there's Jim, we know what Neil thinks of him. Randy Rhodes, when she speaks of her nose. That's just great radio. Management, they're all bent on just running the show, but they're just a bag of rancid douchebags, I know. They don't even know when to go, so when Neil gets to bitching, it's just what we're wishing for. And so, as we all hear the show, make a call. And if you have the call, talk to Neil, and I'm sure you will feel that Neil is a god, a big dripping wad of just great radio. Well, Sally Fitz took the money and split Jaz McKay as his liver decays. Randy Rose with Gary's crap up her nose. That's just great radio.
Okay.
See you at the end. Larry King with the Phil Hendry thing. Reynolds ran. Now he's competing with Sam and Boise. Jesus, when will he leave? That's just great radio. All the guests weren't the best, and they had in a prayer. Marvin Dunn, Alex Dowd, Madeline Murray O'Hare. Thank God they're all off the air. Though their egos deflating, just looking at Neil's ratings. And so, as we draw to a close, drop your bone. And just pick up the phone, talk to Neil. Say what all of us feel, that Neil is the god, a big dripping wad of just great radio.
How do you like that? Talk about good timing. 104 SoFlo Radio. Do you know how to use your Skype? Bring us back.
Moon to you. Is it perfect? That's all I can say to you. What's going on, guys?
Yo, Adam Arnold, a.k.a. Guitar Man, ladies and gentlemen. How are you, man? Are you still going by that fake name? I mean, I know your real name, you know. It's...
No, I don't do Guitar Man because I don't play the guitar.
No, I mean, should I call you?
That was the joke.
That reminds me, I'm in Radio Shack the other day, paying cash as usual for some tchotchke, and they asked me for my phone number. I'm texting while the guy, because that's all I do anymore. I'm actually texting. I'm standing right near the guy texting on my iPhone while he's ringing up the thing, and he asked me for my phone number, and I said, I don't have a phone. True story. And you don't have a guitar. Guitar Man, that's how you're known to the audience. I just like Adam Austin, Adam Arnold. I don't know if you use your real name. Are you still doing the lounge lizard thing?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Every day.
That's what pays the bills?
Yes, it does.
I'm not going to tell you to plug it because the last time that we did that, you got mad at me because all our mouth-breathing asshole fans went up there and started shouting up, hey!
I got mad at Neil because I was playing the Brazilian court, and Neil came on and said, well, you can hear him at the Brazilian court, and everybody from West Palm was calling saying, how dare you have that filthy mouth man in your lounge and everything, and the general manager comes up and goes, who is Guitar Man? I said I am. He goes, well, I don't mention our hotel anymore on the air because we've been getting nasty calls about it.
Yeah.
A little bit of the loudmouth soup, maybe. I had martini in my hand, and I said, yeah.
Guitar Man, ladies and gentlemen, and that's exactly how that's a great way to start a call, because that's how it all started with you, is just a random voice, never identified himself, which was the format. We never asked anybody any names on the Neil Rogers Show, just what city.
The first song was Oh Spam for Lunch.
Yes, which we have around here somewhere. I mean,
that's on his first best of, or one of the best of, first ones I bought.
And you were just called without, hey, check it out. I got that. Live on the phone, ladies and gentlemen. No one else had the balls.
He always wanted to drop the stuff.
Right, and that was a tradition. I mean, Neil would pick up the phone and you would just start playing, which is not something that other people would do. I guess way before anybody else, you had a microphone or something set up, because it didn't sound like just a speakerphone, or was it?
No, it was an IBM Univac.
In NEF.
With 3 rooms of tubes.
No way.
The finals consisted of 2 cats with their tails tied together.
Yeah.
And I won't go any further than that. But then I call and I go, Rick Raleigh stole my briefcase. And I'd like to fart right now.
Oh, no.
For God's sakes, don't tell Rick, because he still cries about that. He was so hurt by that song. You know, I said,
why? Rick took it all too seriously, and he will be on here. We'll have him on at some point.
I saw Jesus on a stick from a
They're all classics. Adam Arnold, Guitar Man.
That's Brian's.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I love
you want to share any stories? You also, Neil ripped you. You got mad, and then you wrote a song. This is the last bit I'll do for you.
Yeah, this is the last bit. I write for you.
And I don't, I could feel your pain because you worked really hard on a lot of bits, and Neil would rip you, but that's what he did.
It was more the station. They wouldn't pay.
Right.
The station was the worst. To get $50 out of them.
I tried. The only reason that they paid at all is because of this whiny bitch campaign that I waged with, and Neil backed it up, but I was the one that was in the office every day begging and pleading for you people. Because they're like, why should we pay these people? They send their bits in anyway. Why should we pay these people?
Well, it worked out really well, George. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Well, I got some money, but are you kidding? They laughed at me. They yelled at me. Oh, you don't know how business is run.
I had 4 radio shows on IOD. I had my own shows. They were the worst. I still have them. I pull them out whenever I want to close up my a-hole. I put them out and I listen to it. And my sphincter climbs right up to my throat, and I say to myself, there's a guy who does not belong on radio.
Well, sure you do.
Believe it or not, I had a talk show host on I had a talk radio show for 4 times when the Dolphins were by, and Mandish didn't feel like coming in.
And that's it. You brought your keyboard in.
Yeah, I brought my keyboard in.
Like Big Wilson.
I think some Absolute, too. I think I had some...
A lot of bits that you're very famous for.
Rude, obnoxious, foul, and distasteful.
The Dolphins are cursing and it's disgraceful because Brian comes
and the other ones are saying,
you can say them. Motherfucker! You can say it. Yeah, woo! We're so emancipated. We're free!
All right, well, that case.
Hey, Brian, are you happy? I hate WLD again. Suck my dick. But I'm happy.
Those are my bleeps. That's my bleep job. Adam, it's always a pleasure. Don't be a stranger, man. Call the show. Do some of that same shtick like that you used to do. Now that you got your Skype working, I'm going to hang up on you and talk to Phil Latzman.
I want a show. Phil Latzman.
All right, yeah, we'll get you a show. We'll give you a show, man.
Okay.
Let me know when you want.
Talk tomorrow.
All right.
Bye.
Guitar Man, ladies and gentlemen. Phil Latzman.
How did you know that? Oh, you must have.
I got you on my contact list, buddy. You're a name I know.
How are you?
We're morose, but we're trying to keep a positive spirit. Neil, as you know, didn't let death deter him from having a sense of humor. So other people's deaths.
I mean, there's a lot of things that are funny. I mean, all these memories come rushing back to you, and the remembrances that are on your show, in the paper. I remember when Mike Ranieri died. It must have been 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And Neil was on the air and said the obituary got buried in the back of the Herald. I don't even think it was in the Sun Sentinel. And Neil was on the air talking about how this guy was on the air in South Florida for 30 years, and nobody gave a you-know-what. I guess you can say shit.
You can shit, yes. Totally shit on our show.
So he was talking about that, and I was thinking to myself, well, I hope that doesn't happen when Neil dies, whenever that is, or if Neil, and I think the outpouring, the realization from everybody that worked with Neil, knowing that he was such a special talent, I think we will never have anything like that on the air ever again in any market.
Right.
There's a ton of things that come back to me, but no, you're really doing a good job of keeping his spirit alive. Although Neil would not believe.
Right. We got to do this. We got to vent. We got to get it all out of our system. I feel like Hyman Roth feels like, and there isn't a statue. There isn't a plaque.
There will be.
Well, Neil
you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see a foundation in his name.
Yeah. Well, good luck. Hold your breath.
Well. I know.
The other thing is, I remember when I first started working there 20 years ago at WIOD, and I came down from New York. We used to listen to Neil, Johnny Donovan, who you may not know the name, but he was the announcer for the
WABC
program. Yeah, WABC, right. He had a former jock there. He's the production director, and Johnny Donovan would call up the coupler line at WIOD. It was a line you call in to listen to Neil back in 1988 or 9, whenever he first started at IOD. And we would sit there and in his production studio listen to him, and go, well, we wish somebody like this could be on the radio here in New York. And I remember when WABC hired Steve Kane, I had gotten the two mixed up. And at the time I thought, they hired Neil, this guy Neil Rogers. And it turned out they hired Steve Kane. It wasn't exactly the same thing. But he was, he people knew about him in New York. When I moved down here 20 years ago, he had best cigars. He would keep them locked up, remember, right behind him in that studio at IOD. And he didn't lock the cabinet, and I would go in there at night when I was working with my old buddy Hank Colbert. And I would raid the cigars there, and I guess I kind of knew that Neil would find out. And he started ranting and raving about it on the air. That Phil Latzman, new guy, taking my cigars. But you know what? In the end, he didn't care. He let me do it. He left it open. He was a kind, giving guy. I mean, he was so different off the air than he was on the air, as you know. And gosh, I wish that there was a way. I wish you could hear Neil respond to all of this now. Post death, in a way to see what he would think of all of this. But, gosh.
He would. Well, it's just like when when me and Cheryl set up that whole thing for his anniversary, where Larry King called in and all these people called in. He found out after the fact that we called people and invited them to call and be part of the show that day, and he yelled at me for it because he didn't like people going to trouble or setting things up. This is about 50-50. It's like, I'm calling a lot of people and inviting them to call up, but a lot of people are contacting me also. wanting to get on here and basically make a statement. It's like this is how we're doing it. We're doing it radio style. This is the equivalent of everybody walking up to the coffin and and putting a flower on it over here, because we're all radio people. This is our forum. This is how we do things. And of course, the listeners, I want the audience to call and say to them, and the phones are ringing, and I'm ignoring a lot of phone calls because I want to give the people that worked with Neil right away, with all due respect to the fans and everyone out there, stars first. Like
George, I got to tell you, as you know, I'm certainly not in any way, but as you know, it's a shame that we lived in the day and age that we did, because Neil would never translated to a national audience, or maybe. Who knows?
The companies we worked for never gave it a shot, never tried. For no reason, they said, "Oh, that's a local phenomenon. It'll never fly in Chicago. It'll never fly."
Well, there's more to that story that isn't being told, but we'll get to that at another time.
Sure.
Right, but the whole point is that as Brian knows, and George, if people had heard him outside of Miami, outside of South Florida, I mean, it's just a shame. It's almost like it's our little secret. That we knew how good this guy was, South Florida knew, but nobody else knew.
People would come here on vacation. We would get calls. I got tired of listening to people call up. "Oh, wow, I just came here on vacation, and this is great. Wow, why aren't you national? How can I pick you up in L.A.? How can I pick you up in Atlanta?" And the answer was, you can't. You can't.
Right, and that's how we found out about the coupler line, and we would listen in up in New York before I even moved down.
And by the way, you were right about Johnny Donovan, because he worked with Tom Chauvin at ABC Radio Today, which was a big syndicator at the time, back in the 90s. Was later absorbed by Clear Channel. Yeah, and there was a big opportunity there, but that was squashed. Like
I said, I mean, if anybody outside of South Florida, and even people that I talk to today that live here, that just moved here, that don't know what he sounded like. Is there a way to get the archives of the shows on his website, or are you guys...
You and a million other people are asking that, and let me just answer over and over again. We are looking into how we might be able to replay those archives, and if we are able to, then we will replay them here.
Well,
how's that?
Awesome.
And not for money. We're not going to run ads, and just as an ongoing tribute for a while. We're looking into that. We got a team of lawyers working on it to see how legal it would be for us to replay old archives of Neil's show.
Well, if there's anybody, and you have your own show now, and it's your own, SoFloRadio is doing very well. But if there's anybody, you two guys, to keep the spirit of what that was all about alive, just that little piece of Neil to live on, so that maybe other people can understand what it was like to work with him, to listen to him. Keep it going, and keep up the good work, you guys.
We aim to. You still on LRN?
You're still there. Still there.
Still on my morning news is the only thing on radio that I listen to is Phil Latzman, LRN in the morning. There's nothing else anymore. You hear, somebody sent me a text. Hey, 93.1 is rocking Anne Murray. Somebody sent me a text the other day. That's what they have on there now. Is they have adult contemporary from the Stone Age now.
Yeah, it's we have two stations now playing Christmas music.
Yeah.
And it really is like no other. It's sad.
Phil,
it's sad.
You got to be
remember what it was like, buddy.
Yeah. Be a guest in the studio one of these days when the dust settles on us.
You're right around the corner. I'd love to come in and hang out with you guys. And,
absolutely.
Thanks for what you're doing. Everybody's rooting for you, and we'll talk again soon.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. And I wish I had the Phil Latzman drop over here. I searched my system. We don't have the Phil Latzman Pinky drop.
I don't have it, no.
Brian? Oh, geez, where the hell is that thing now? And I just had a text back and forth with Captain Dave. We were going to have him on this segment, but we got surprise calls from Guitar Man and Phil Latzman. Okay. So
by the way, I'm going to go through those DATs again. There might be a couple of those I missed.
You know what? I might have it on that. I told you I rolled off that mini disc. I think it's on there. It's just that I got a half hour worth of drops that I haven't broken down. I guess now's the time to do it, right? Of course, I didn't bring any kind of a thumb drive or anything with me. I'm a little out of sorts, I got to say.
Slacker.
Yeah.
Can't imagine why.
Very slacky, sick all weekend. Very distracted. Trying to do the right thing. Trying to do my Christmas duty. Because I'm daddy. I had daddy duty. Yeah. Well, like the 8-year-old, things are going on that are flying way over kids' heads, and I can't let what's going on in the real world affect a child's Christmas. You understand? I can't allow that to trickle down. I've got to keep the children insulated from that. So some, had to put on a happy face all weekend long, in between going back and forth to bed. One of the coolest things I got, if not the coolest thing, my daughter gave me a little remote control helicopter. Nice kind. Lights up. Real good. I chased the 8-year-old around with it. That's what I was doing. My moments of out of bed, when I wasn't answering everyone's email and Facebook messages, I was chasing her around with the helicopter. Which is great, when you get her, when you hit her with it, the blades cut her flesh and she screams. It's nice. They're going to call HRS on us, the neighbors, I just know. So I just had a text off with Captain Dave. He's on deck. We'll come back. We'll do another block of fun. I'm really enjoying the bits, by the way, all this old stuff. And it's not just for the audience, but it's for us.
Yeah.
So
it's therapeutic.
Right. Stay tuned. Captain Dave coming up next. 120, SoFloRadio.com.
Why bother listening to those other douchebags while we've got everything you need right here? SoFloRadio.com. Radio you missed.
Here's your brand, honey.
Brand again? It tastes so crappy. I'd give my immortal soul for a brand that tastes good.
I heard that.
Beelzebub, Lord of the Underworld, what are you doing here?
I heard you're not eating your fiber, Bob. Perhaps you'd like to try new Beelzebran.
Oh, what's so great about Beelzebran?
Well, one bowl of Beelzebran has all the fiber you'll need to keep regular, but the best part is it tastes great.
Wow.
Besides, if you don't eat your fiber, your bowels will clog with rotting meat and your intestines will fill with cancerous tumors and blood shall squirt from your anus.
Okay, I get the points, so I'll eat my brand.
There's a good fellow.
Thanks, oh desolate one.
No problem. Now, about your immortal soul, Bob.
Beelzebub?
I'm just kidding.
Beelzebran. Because good health shouldn't cost you your soul.
This is Lawman Deputy Barney Fife with another important reminder. It's getting more and more dangerous out there. So now, more than ever, you need protection. Yeah, that's why I carry this here. Yep, this little baby's all I needed. The all-day bullet tip Barney condom. See some blouse-busting bimbo approaches you. Well, bam! There's that protection, you're dead. With this little baby, you stop any disease. You got to nip it in the bud. Yeah, protection. It don't leave home without it.
The Barney condom. Available in A and B and OP sizes, too.
They're back, your favorite Jewish rock and roll nostalgia band. It's Rosh Hashanah with their greatest hits album, Sock Hop at the Synagogue.
My rabbi's back, he's gonna circumcise my baby. My rabbi's back.
Yes, Rosh Hashanah has reformed to bring you 12 kosher cuts of hot and Hebrew hijinks.
That goy isn't good for Jews.
This album should be in every Orthodox rocker's collection. Rolling Stone gives it 5 stars of David.
Did I wonder, who wrote the book of Job?
Sock Hop at the Synagogue, new from Rosh Hashanah. Available at all record stores. We'll talk price when you get here. Don't pass over this album.
Clean that smarmy mung, boys. Clean that smarmy mung. You can do sing mungai. Mix that smarmy mung. Now Neil was in on a Monday, feeling young and spry. Took one whiff of the fungus, now he'd like to die. Oh, clean that smarmy mung, boys. Clean that smarmy mung. You can do sing mungai. Mix that smarmy mung. Now Randy was in for Neil. Joey was in for Rick and Suds. Suds was in for Randy. What the hell was going on? Oh, mix that smarmy mung, boys. Mix that smarmy mung. You can do sing mungai. Clean that smarmy mung. Now management is the one to blame when the microbes start to creep. Too damn cheap to clean the vents, tight as nuts on a Jeep. Oh, clean that smarmy mung, boys. Clean that smarmy mung, okay? You can do sing mung guy. Clean that smarmy mung.
Where's Stark?
Pardon me, sir? Can I get you something? Briosky? Oh, you don't like the volume? Then why did you sit right next to the speaker? How long does it take you to gum a corned beef sandwich? Eat it and go. This man and all the white ones there, they've been sitting here gumming this corned beef for, I know, I've been here an hour and 45 minutes, and they've been here chewing on the same sandwich for like an hour, doing nothing but complaining. Why are you complaining? You sat right next to the speaker. So then go someplace else. They pay me to be here. They don't pay you to be here. I know this is a very tough concept for you to grasp in your little arthritis, porcelana-ridden, near-death hands, but they paid me to be here today, sir. They did not pay you. Therefore, you could take your sandwich and you could leave. I, on the other hand, am contract labor and must stay and put up with you, your depends, and your denture problems. Pizza and liquid. Peter.
Yeah, Randy.
Peter.
How you doing?
I'm all right, darling. How you?
You got that manified, huh?
I got that manified.
Why'd you get fired, you hypocritical?
Oh, it's you, man. Man, why does Manny Crank call the station? What is
Randy.
it? What?
Hello, Randy.
What?
Are you listening to me?
No. Howard!
I sell a line of jingles, and I travel on the road. And I have a lot of instruments, just like Sally. What a load. Every day a new routine, another song, and then early in the morning I mail Neil a bit again. But when I get that writer's block, the words refuse to flow. I take a trip to Hallandale, where life is really slow. I drive into the Publix, and I find some parking room. And the Yentas and the Kretches turn and holler, Cock-a-moon. Shake hands with your Uncle Max, my boy, and here's your sister Cheryl. And you remember Isabel, that's Irving's oldest girl. And you remember the Tishman twins, Gerald and Jerome. We've all come here to greet you and to wish you welcome home. Meet Merowitz, Barowitz, Handelman, Shandelman, Sperber and Gerber and Steiner and Stone. Moskowitz, Lupowitz, Aronson, Berenson, Pryman and Feynman and Friedman and Co. Swallowitz, Teitelbaum, Levin, Levinsky, Levine and Levine. Brumberger, Schlumberger, Minkus and Pinkus and Stein with E, Einstein with a Y. Now here's your Uncle Sal, my boy, with all the family poop. And here's your cousin Randy with her goddamn chicken soup. Whenever you're on the road, my boy, come back and see us soon. For we'll all be here when you come back to wish you
cock-a-moon. 128.
Woke up at 2 p.m., face down in a gutter.
Don't turn it on.
My mouth tasted like mud. My brain was like butter. Crawled up on my feet and brushed myself off.
Hang on,
Lit up for stoking. Started to cough. Reached in my pocket, pulled out my trusty AM radio. Got ready for the evening with the Stan Major Show. Got ready for the evening with the Stan Major Show. Got ready for the evening with the Stan Major Show.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no.
There he is, Captain Dave Caprita, ladies and gentlemen. The one and the only. Accept those substitutes. Void where prohibited. Not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. Some restrictions apply. Not available at any store at any price. What else? That was Dave Caprita. And by the way, that reminds me, Stan, so far, because I've been calling a lot of people, and a lot of people have been calling me, Stan stands alone. Standalone Major. He's the only person who has declined my invitation to come on the show and express any kind of sentiments at all. Was the sentiment that he expressed over email.
That seems kind of, I'm sure Neil is laughing just at the thought of that as we speak.
Sure, I'm sure. Dave Caprita, one of the members, I don't know, were you the actual producer? Was that your title back in the Zeta thing?
I had no title. I was,
you were just one of the monkeys in the zoo.
I was, after one of my many catapulting downwards part of my radio career, I was starving for a job, and I started working like midnight to 6 on the weekends at Zeta.
Okay.
And then they were looking, I'll tell you this real quick because, as Neil would say, it's probably pretty damn boring.
No, but, take your time. This is exactly what the audience wants, by the way. They want the whole story. Talk slowly.
God, I feel like I'm at the John F. Kennedy Library leaving an audio archive.
That's exactly what this is, man.
Exactly.
Right.
So anyway, I was working weekends doing midnight to 6, and back then you had to do it in real time. But Rose Folger, who was the program director, who got that name. Anyway, they were looking for somebody to help them in the background with the Breakfast Club, which was on its last legs. So I started getting up early in the morning doing the morning show with the folks from the Breakfast Club. That lasted about a month or so. They went to another morning show and renamed it and all. And within like 60 days, we had heard the rumor that Neil was going to take over. So everybody was very upset that they were going to lose their jobs or be moved around, and I was excited because I'd been a fan of his. I'd been on his show goofing around with him, and I thought, oh, this is going to be wonderful. And I just went in to the program director, and I said, I don't know what capacity you could use me in, but I would love to help these guys out, whether running the board or answering the phone. So they took me up on it, and once Neil got there, of course, with his wonderfully chaotic way of doing shows, I started running the board, and then eventually I was answering the phones, and then one thing led to another. I'll never forget it. After we'd been working together for a few days, I just meekly asked him, I says, would you mind if I turned my microphone on once in a while, and
so
I don't want to overdo it, or
People can blame me on you then, because I think that's what got Neil used to talking to the producer on the air. He hated all the little reedy messagey shit by the time I came along.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we're talking now people would say, well, people do that on the radio all the time, like have morning zoos and stuff like that had the same philosophy. But back then, in the mid-'80s, this was, or as far as my radio career was used to, this was pretty unorthodox. And one thing led to another, where he and Glenn were in the other room, and once in a while, in my stoned hippie way, I would say something really off the wall, and he seemed to love it. And one thing led to another, where I started producing bits for him, nothing as slick and polished as what Boca Brian has done over the years. But and that's another thing that was amazing about Neil, was that I didn't have the technical expertise of like a Boca Brian or whatever, but I used to come up with these ideas, and with what primitive equipment we had, I would go in there with my little keyboard, my toy keyboard machine. And
that's what Boca Brian started on. His little.
We started the same way. But you were a pioneer, though. I mean,
I guess. Well, I appreciate that, but I never thought of it that way. But anyway, one thing led to another. The thing I loved about Neil was I would go in there and work for hours on a bit, and I would the next day I would proudly take it in there on a cart, and I'd say, here, I got something for you. And I would think, well, he's either going to play it or he's going to just put it aside. But he was without even listening to it, whether it was, not even knowing whether it was going to be a piece of crap or a piece of genius, he would play it, and you know, if it didn't strike his fancy, he would put it aside. But most of the time, he would, like the Figaro song. I mean, he played that for years, man. He just loved that. So it always made me feel good that when I would put all that work into something like that he wasn't really looking for quality.
He was looking for film material.
Yeah, he was looking for funny ideas, and once again, that's the thing I loved about Neil that like completely changed my whole idea about radio was that, you know, the rules are not what radio is about, and you know, like studying acting is like that too, that, you know, once you get on stage, you throw all the rules out the window. You did your homework. You know you're good at what you're doing. And you get out there and just let chaos take over. And just consultants and program directors and managers of radio stations can't frigging stand that.
And they have to justify their existence. Why are they so jealous? Isn't it enough that they're making money off of what you do? To just stay out of the way. Just go sit in your office and add up all the money. No, we're going to get our fingers in that creative pie. Jealous.
I don't know. It's just the way things are structured, and you know, it's like people like Neil and people that are really good, whether it's radio or acting or painting. They just the Van Goghs of the world don't like rules and think it's silly. No. And those type of people use a different part of their brain, and they just can't conceptualize things the same way.
No, and they don't understand it. It's like voodoo magic to them. Did you have hair in those days, Dave?
Did I have hair?
Hair on your head. I'm not talking about on your knuckles, actually, you know.
On the Facebook the other day, when I heard the sad news, I posted a photo of the official Zeta photo of the morning show, and it's like me and Neil, and I was laughing because you can see that my hair is thinning, and it looks pretty ridiculous, but it's... I hadn't seen that picture in years, but
wow, you got an old picture of Neil on there too. I just friended you.
Oh, cool.
Facebook, what a thing.
I'll refuse you.
I'm looking at the old pictures. Why do you have Kim Jong-il on there? Is this just your collection of dictators? What the hell?
Yeah, my collection of dictators. Facebook is so onanistic and so self-focused. It's sometimes, I mean, it's perfect for people like us of the radio.
Dude, you got old. Well, we all did, man. You should see my white cake I got on my head right now. White birthday cake. Because I've been telling people, I have to explain people to you. Dave Caprita. Neil said you looks like an axe murderer. He said that about a lot of people, but mostly about you. Nice. You got Glenn Beck on here too. You got Bush. All the greats are on here, Dave. Very nice. Dave Caprita's the kind of person. Dave Caprita's the kind of person that if you have a debt to collect, just bring Dave with you to stand next to you. You just stand there with the sunglasses, and you don't have to do anything. Dave could just stand there. You don't have to say anything. Just be there. Just be in the same room, and you'll get your money. No questions asked.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because when I first moved to L.A. in the 90s, I was this starving actor, and I won't mention any names, but there was somebody pretty big in the business in South Florida who somebody in L.A. owed them money. Yeah. And she says, I wish you would just go by, and we would talk about it. She says, I don't know what to do with this guy because he keeps refusing to pay me thousands of dollars. So I said, you know what? And I was like so crazy back then. I was taking acting lessons, and I would just do anything in public just to like get my chops down. And I said, well, let me go over there. And without knowing what I was going to do or what, I mean, exactly what you just said, I walk into this big production company on Sunset Strip, and I just walked in there and said, hi, I'm here to see so-and-so. And I just went into this executive's office, and I sat opposite his desk, and I just looked at him, and all I said was, so-and-so from Miami told me to come here to see you, and I didn't say another word and just waited for him to say something, and he was like so pissed off, and he called her up and said, he said, I don't need you to send your thugs from Miami over here to get my money.
Your goons.
But Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. That was like an example of exactly what you were talking about.
What happened with the acting career? What was it? Well, first of all, what was the biggest role that you can brag about? Was it My Girl? Was that the one? Because that's the one I always reference with people.
No, I was, my hat's off to people who come here to do what I did, but it was very nuts. It was insane. Neil thought I was crazy.
Right.
Like as the years went by, I would talk to him about it. He was always so cool about. I mean, I've heard a rumor. I don't know if this is true or not, but somebody actually told me that for years or forever that I was one of the only people that when he mentioned on the air, he would like tease me, make jokes about me and all, but he was never one of the people that he ripped on that. I feel like that's sort of like a badge of honor.
No, he just said you look like an axe murderer, and that was an easy one. That was not even a reach. Yeah.
But as far as the act,
go ahead.
I was fairly fortunate enough to, after all the energy spent studying acting and doing plays for free and everything, I guess I was lucky enough to do some commercials and appear in like The Shield and some other TV shows. But I guess the biggest role was money-wise, and as far as notoriety, was one of the bad guys in The Specialist with Stallone.
And Sharon Stone. Did you have sex with Sharon Stone?
In my dream.
Oh, okay, because that's when she looked good. That's before she turned into a crone, Sharon Crone. That's what they call her.
So how's the gig going with Randy up there?
He remote produces her, Brian. It's everybody's doing it now. He's in L.A. Randy's in Washington. He's working with our good friend Nicole Sandler, who's our lead-in 10 to 12 here on SoFloRadio.
There's, of course, as you guys know, there's never was, is, or will be another Neil. But as far as like being spontaneous and knowing how to bounce that basketball for 3 hours every day, 5 days a week, Randy's very similar to like when I was working with Neil, as far as like, she's strong-headed, she has her opinions, and she's a tough cookie, but I love working with her. I feel like I'm going to college every day, and so, if I couldn't work with Neil like you did for years and years and years, working with Randy is a very similar type experience. So I'm having a blast working with her.
Good. Well, she's in town. I'm going to get her on probably Wednesday. Is my goal to get her into the studio if possible. But I'll accept a phoner from her. I haven't seen her, and since the IOD days when she was doing the nighttime show, and as you know, it was a not serious show in those days.
Yeah. Exactly. That's kind of like what Neil ended up doing. But, I wanted to tell you guys that I feel, now, you always look back and say, God, when was the last time I talked to him? And I remember you guys must have been rolling your eyes because speaking of the acting thing, I had come to town, I think it was like 5.5 years ago to be in a play. And, because I knew how Neil was, that I never wanted to waste his time talking about, like acting and stuff like that, but these guys actually bought advertisement on the station, and they said, we know you know Neil, and we worked it out with the sales guy, and we want you to be on his show tomorrow. And I was like, well, it'll be great talking to Neil again, but he's not going to be into this. So I just remember the last time I talked to Neil on the air, and there were so many wonderful times that I goofed with him, but the last time was like promoting this play, and I can almost picture you guys like rolling your eyes like, let's get this done,
No,
because I could just hear it in his voice. I mean, you guys were always very cool, and he was cool about it, but I could just tell by the sound of his voice that it was like, whatever.
But besides producing Randy, you got your own show on Sirius?
Yeah, it's something I've been working on for almost a year now. It has no audience, but I'm very proud of it. I don't know what the story is with XM, but they've got us on a channel that hardly anybody listens to, and it's like on Sunday night, so it's basically we sit there for 2 hours without the phone ringing, but I'm having a blast doing it. It's one of those labors of love where it's kind of like a Monday. It's almost like a morning show that's on late Sunday night when the weekend is wrapping up, talking about everything from politics to chicks and religion, and it's the buddy that I do it with is a right-wing guy. I'm the left-wing guy, so we'd have a lot of fun. And I don't know if anything's going to come out of it, but I'm doing that.
Plug it. What channel? How can people find it? Don't be shy.
It's called Uncommon Ground. And you can go to sharpradio.com and get all the details about the show and actually find the archive shows from the past year with a lot of promos. We do a thing called Maximum Caprita, that is me bitching about something every week for about 90 seconds. I think Neil would like that. So it's on XM 152, the Extreme channel, but you can also stream it on sharpradio.com.
Everybody's streaming these days, in case you hadn't noticed.
Yeah,
it's easy. Sure all of the other delivery methods are going away if you read all the trade journals and everything. The net is making everything else redundant. So here we are.
I just wanted to, before I split, I also wanted to just, I've been meaning to tell you this for several years. I was doing a morning show a few years ago in Vegas. And as soon as I got this gig in Las Vegas, which I had only visited once or twice in my life, I immediately thought of Neil because I don't know about the last years of his life, but I remember in the 80s he used to come to Vegas all the time.
Right.
So he was on my mind a lot. But anyway, I just fell in love with the town. And one day, some bartender I meet hears my name. And he goes, and I run into this a lot. Out of all the things I've done in my life, whether it was radio or the acting or anything, I think the most notoriety and celebrity I have gotten was from Captain Dave, that Neil came up with that name. And this bartender goes, Captain Dave. So we got to bullshitting. He had been in Vegas for like 10 or 12 years, but he, back in the day, used to listen to the Zeta show. And he tells me, I've got a bag of cassettes that you might want to listen to. And it was like shows that I had not heard in like 25 years or however long it's been. Anyway, it was a thrill to listen to some of these shows. And one of them, he's actually talking about, the guy says, you just came back from Vegas last week. And Neil's talking about these places that became sort of like regular haunts for me while I was living there. And it was just this weird sensation of Neil talking about Vegas 20-something years earlier while I'm living there. And it was just funny to see, like, somebody, I run into it out here, too. People from those days that used to listen to that show. And,
Neil liked it. He always said he had the most fun when he was at Zeta. That's when he enjoyed doing the show the most.
I remember when he moved over to IOD that I used to listen like months or a year later, and once in a while somebody would call and talk about us, and he would say that very same thing.
Absolutely.
But he was always good. Oh, you're going to what?
I'm going to blame you for the whole bringing the producer on the air thing, because by the time he hit IOD, he didn't play that thing. I tried like the first day to type a little message on the computer screen there, and he's like, no, I don't want to read that. I don't want to wait for you to write something and then just to read it. Just open up a microphone. You got a microphone in there. And I'm like, 4 years as a DJ, and I still wasn't ready for that. What I'm saying is we're going to take the next break early because...
It's so different. See, people don't realize that. They think, well, you've been a DJ since you were a teenager. Can't you do a talk show? I remember once.
So different.
When Glenn Hill was on vacation for a week or two, and much to my horror, one day the PD calls up and says, Neil's called in sick. You got to do the show by yourself. And starting at 6 o'clock, by 6:20, man, I had nothing else to say. And I just, I was horrified.
Right.
But it made me realize that there's some people like Neil that, they don't even have to have a sheet of paper.
He'd write 2 words on the log. He'd write 2 words in the margin of the log. That was a show. 4 hours.
It's an amazing thing, man.
It is. Well, thank you so much for being on and sharing. And don't be a stranger when you hit town. Look me up. We'll go party. Yeah. We'll go scare people together. I got some people that owe me money. We'll go visit them. You don't even have to get out of the car. How's that? I'll just point to the car.
It doesn't even have to be anybody that owes you money. We'll just do it.
I'll go on sales calls with you.
All right.
Well, you'll always be Captain Dave to us, Dave Caprita, ladies and gentlemen. Keep us in the loop. You know, we'll plug your shit, whatever it is. All right.
Yeah. Well, now that I know what you're doing and everything, I'll keep in touch with you.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, brother. Take it easy. You guys take it easy.
You bet. Dave Caprita. What a rich, creamy voice that guy has, too, by the way. Yeah. Looks like a terrorist. Look him up. I'm telling you. Especially now that he's older, he looks even more terrifying. It's 11 till 2 on all Dave Caprita Radio, SoFloRadio.com.
This is the Neil Rogers Show. This is your brain. Any questions?
How can I help you?
Yeah, calling for a restaurant for sale?
Yeah,
What's your name?
Patrick.
Patrick?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to talk to someone named Fu.
Who?
Fu.
Okay, hold on just a second, okay?
Yeah.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, sir?
Yeah, who's speaking?
Hello?
Yeah, hello? Who's speaking?
Hello?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You got a restaurant for sale?
Uh-huh.
How much you want for restaurant?
Well, you come here to look at it and talk to the boss.
I come over, maybe eat dinner with you.
Okay.
Does that price include all the walks?
Huh?
Huh? 怎么叫啥?
You Chinese?
Yeah, Chinese.
Okay, you come over 同老板讲啊。
等两下呀
2点半了哈。
2点半應該走樣㗎。
啊？
Yeah.
2點半哈。
2點半啦。Okay, how about I get order to go and then I come over, pick it up and look at restaurant?
Okay.
Okay? What you have?
You know, 你知道在哪里沒有？
在你知
道哪里啊？
你在哪
？31, 35 South Mendenhall.
好在你啊？
啊？
在好在呀。Okay, I'll be right there.
Okay.
我現在在台灣㗎。
等你來同老闆講哈。
大家在打。
啊？
在擺。
Condelieeza, Chevron Mooley. With your funky yellow teeth so far apart. Condelieeza, what you be doing? It's the old-fashioned black that token Schwarz's dog. Is you dead 'cause you a high-toned bootlick Negro? Is you the blackie and your mammy who be smart? Does they like how you shine their shoes, Condelieeza? All the way you wash and park the whitest cars. Georgie Jr. said he trusts you, Condelieeza. You sell our allies on the greedy oil wall, but then he make you clean all the White House bathrooms, the couple sinks, the toilet, and then scrub the floor. They tell you don't wear sandals, Condelieeza. Your cold chip toenails make them wanna retch and puke. Your nappy leg hair look just like it be Velcro. The GOP wants you to be that token fool. One day while you be flipping pancakes, you may realize that they're treating you just like your escarole. That's when your head will move from side to side, Condelieeza. It's a Bush and Rummy, they be cracked assholes.
All right, this is G. Gordon Liddy, and they don't come any worse than Neil Rogers.
Busted. Yo, it's the 1 to 2 hour. Yeah, boy.
They want us to find a way to reimburse for back pay from 200 years ago when they were slaves. Well, I have a mobile home, a pit bull and a pinch of skull. So if you wanna ask me how, here's what I gotta say. You've got to kiss a nigger good morning and tell him that you're sorry for enslaving them all. Kiss a nigger good morning, and that's for everybody who is dead and gone. If I was born in 1802, owning slaves ain't something I do. But what for dead people did to you, I have to take the blame. Would you settle for an old Pontiac with a can of smelly cherry intact? Instead of 40 acres and the mule, I have a better way. You've got to kiss a nigger good morning, when one on Halle Berry, Morgan Freeman too. Kiss a nigger good morning, and that's your restitution for enslaving you. Kiss a nigger good morning, and tell them that you're sorry for enslaving them all. You got to kiss a nigger good morning, and that's for everybody who is dead and gone.
Here's Heather from Fox News.
Hi, Neil. How are you?
I'm okay, I think.
Good. Thanks for taking our call. We've been trying to reach you for the past couple days.
Trying to reach me? You've called people that haven't been invented yet. You've called dead relatives of mine. What's the story, Heather?
We're working on a story about the CD you're promoting on your website that's called Kiss I won't say it, N-word, good morning.
Heather, are you listening to the show?
Yes, I am. I've been listening for the past couple days. And just so you know, we are recording us.
Did you hear me go through the entire rationale of what that song had nothing to do with Condelieeza Rice?
Uh-huh. What about the song Condelieeza, Condelieeza?
That's obviously about Condelieeza.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And I just want to know why you're playing this on your show.
No, see, I'd like to know why. This is really interesting. Why are you calling me, asking me why I should play this? We have song parodies about Bill Clinton, dozens of them. Nobody ever complained about that. We have song parodies about Al Gore, dozens of them. Nobody ever complained about those.
Well, there's some African-American folks up here in New York who are pretty offended by it.
Well, wait a minute. Let me say this to you, Karen. We're not in New York.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we don't broadcast in New York. We're on WQM in Miami. Well, and the fact of the matter is that except for people like you and the people at that right-wing Newsmax.com who want to make a big timus about this, if it weren't for that, they wouldn't even be aware that we exist.
Neil, there's some this organization that's offended by it is a national organization.
But the fact of the matter is we've been playing these songs for many, many, many months. We've never had one single complaint. And when interlopers like you from outside, like from Fox News or from some right-wing website, want to tell us for you to ask me how come you're playing that, because we want to play it.
Okay, Neil, but what's the value in it? What does it do for you? What does it do for audience?
It's called comedy. That's what it's called. You have a sense of humor?
Do you think it's funny to call Condelieeza Rice? In
addition, well, Harry Belafonte called her the House Negro. Okay, so we'll call her whatever we want.
But this is a little bit different. I mean, he was taking issue with.
It's not the least bit different. She is the House Negro. See, you people at Fox may not understand this. Not everybody in the world is a right winger like Rupert Murdoch. There actually are those of us who are progressive or moderate, liberal, whatever we are, who also have the right to speak, to express whatever the hell we want.
So repeat again what you just said for me there. You think she is a what?
She's the House Negro.
Uh-huh. And you don't find anything wrong with that?
What do you mean wrong with that? It's a fact. That's my opinion. Am I entitled to my opinion?
You're certainly entitled to your opinion.
And that's basically what Harry Belafonte said as well. And it's obvious. This is why nobody returned your calls. Heather, or whatever your name is, because we knew that you were trying to stir up a bunch of crap and take something out of context. When I asked you,
I don't think there's anything being taken out of context.
Did you listen? See, we're not doing the Bill O'Reilly show, okay? It's my show, and I'm not going to have you scream over me or try to out-talk me, okay? It's not going to work.
Okay.
I asked you in the beginning of the conversation, which I was very calm, and I asked you, did you hear me explain the origin of that song, the Restitution Song? The fact of the matter is, and I don't know, I'm sure he must have been on your channel, Randall Kennedy, the black author who wrote the book Nigger, The Strange Career of a Troublesome Word?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, he was certainly on CNN. He was on MSNBC. Maybe he wasn't on Fox because he wasn't, I don't know. Maybe you just weren't aware of it.
Mm-hmm. Neil, I've got a question for you.
Are you aware of that book?
You portray yourself to be this sort of liberal voice But yet you're...
Ma'am, I don't put labels on me. For example...
Okay, what would you call yourself then politically?
I call myself a human being. You see, you people on Fox, it's this old liberal and a conservative. That stuff went out with high-button shoes, okay?
Hold on a second.
I'm a thinking, living, and breathing human being. In addition to which, why do I have to, in Miami, Florida, answer to some assholes in New York on Fox News how I do my show? What is it your business?
There are a lot of people who care, and there are people in Miami who care about this, too.
Who are they?
You're calling...
Who are they? Name me one person in Miami who's concerned about it.
Folks we know down there, certainly. And
name me one.
Too. Look,
name me one.
It's offensive to lie about a woman.
Name me one.
Of a very high position in our government.
I don't care what you say. We don't like Condelieeza, okay? And have a nice day, okay? We're calling her whatever we feel like calling her. She's a public goddamn figure. And blow it out your right-wing ass, and you and Bill, and by the way, O'Reilly didn't make the numbers. 0.
Fox News Heather, we'd really like to fuck you. Whoa, yeah. Fox News Heather, we'd really like to fuck you. Oh! We'd really like to fuck you. You're a fine-looking fascist and a perfect little Nazi. I want to filter coffee through your soiled panties. Distorting news, looking smug and sweet. Flapping your lips like Ann Coulter's roast beef. Fox News Heather, really like to fuck you. Oh, yeah. Fox News Heather, we'd really like to fuck you. We'd really like to fuck you. You ever think about doing Condelieeza? Do you, bitch? Huh? You want it?
Oh, man.
Three-way. Her. You're a tingle man. Who's your man, tingle man? The little pink rolls bud between your buns. I'll bet it tastes like bubble gum. See you next time you need a story done, since it takes a liberal to make you come. Fox News Heather, we'd really like to fuck you. Oh, yeah. Fox News Heather, we'd really like to fuck you.
And that's not a lie. 2 o'clock, SoFloRadio.com. What are you trying to do there? Brian, want to get some attention today? Is that what you're doing?
It's a needle block.
By the way, did you get the message that your microphone is a little distorted?
Is it still?
A little bit. A little overmodulated. I mean, I got you down over here, but you distort.
My levels are all over the road here because I've been doing those loading the things.
Get a grease pencil and mark the board over there. And also your overhead speaker's coming back at us. Yeah, sorry about that.
All right, how's that?
Your microphone is very sensitive, unlike the ones we had. And I'm still hearing the overhead now.
There's not much I can do about that.
You can turn it off.
I'm putting it lower as I can, but I got to hear you, right?
I know. Well, just take the wig off and put some headphones on. I don't know. I
can't do headphones the way this is set up. That's
then now I know what to get you for Christmas instead of what I did get you, which I still haven't given to you. I'm finding bits over here. I don't know what this is. It says it came from the DCS. I'm going to fire it off without knowing what it is, okay?
Oh, that's Mandingo Man.
Yeah, well, you must have renamed that. How is that named? I never renamed that Mandingo. That's just the African drums. That's the beginning of a Erykah Badu song or something. So, yeah, that was a nice little block there. I got to explain that whole exchange to Monica. And Fox News Heather, first of all, I don't know what's dumber than a Republican woman. That's the thing to beat. What's dumber than a Republican woman?
Or
and you've got that bit. You've got a Republican woman bit that you've done. Did you not?
Oh,
Republican woman under the tune of American woman? Or did I just dream that?
Nope, that wasn't me.
Was that a fantasy that I had? Must have been. Speaking of fantasies that I have, hopefully she'll answer. I don't want to give this away, even though I did kind of promote that we were going to be calling her. Very unrequited fantasies over here, as we hear from people from the past. Please answer the phone. Baby sweetie.
Hello?
Jennifer Rem?
Hi, how are you?
It's George. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I feverishly took my pants off before this call, and I have a hanky to wipe the sweat off my palms with because of all that sexual tension that we had going when we used to work together. I'm just going to start out with that. Now, all of a sudden it's warm in here. We're webcasting of audio and video. Guess what? I have to take my flannel off now. because we're talking to the great, wonderful, rich, creamy voice and incredibly beautiful and sexy Jennifer Rem, who, your star shines on. Everybody remembers you. People ask me about you all the time on a very regular basis, and I go, oh, she's up in North Palm somewhere or something. So why don't you give us the lowdown, and then of course you get to share your thoughts and memories of Neil. Give us an update.
Wow, I don't even know if I can live up to all of that.
Oh, you already have.
I am in Palm Beach. I'm working in the legal field. And
I'm working in the illegal field. That's funny. Go ahead.
All I'll say is I'm in the investigative field. Let's leave it at that.
We might meet.
I was very, very sad to hear about Neil's passing. And I've just been thinking about him. And when we first met, I was 21 years old, starting my first radio job at WINZ in Miami. And I remember I was being given a tour of the studio, and I remember seeing Neil in the studio doing his talk show. And my first thought was, gee, I better stay away from this guy. He was quite an imposing figure. He really was. And as I moved on in my career, and as he did as well, we ended up working together again at WIOD, and that's where we met George. Mm-hmm. And I think we both, I can safely say we both grew to respect each other.
Yes.
And,
are you talking about you and Neil?
Yes.
Okay, because talk about you and me later.
I don't know if you respect me.
I have so much respect and a bunch of other adjectives to describe how I feel about you.
Right. But it was an amazing time in Miami when Neil was on the air there. It really was. And I had a great deal of respect for what he did on the air. Mm-hmm. He really was an individual who could talk about issues so knowledgeably. And radio hasn't been the same without him.
Right. No question. I wanted to ask you some, because, the news teaser, those news teasers that you used to do in the beginning of the news, I like to think that you might have been the one to start that. I don't think it was intentional in the beginning, but we would make drops out of it, which for some reason I don't have on me. And then I think that later on, because it worked out so well,
and say cheese,
that the news staff, the entire news staff, I think starting with you, actually intentionally started doing little clever teasers at the beginning of the news. It was the only non-serious part of the newscast, which I liked, because we had really good news.
One of the news directors, and I don't know if it was Chuck Meyer or Tom Hopkins.
We had Chuck on earlier. As a matter of fact, thanks for reminding me about Tom Hopkins. Yeah, we had him on last week.
And where is he now? Is he in Cleveland or?
He's in Phoenix, I think he said.
Yeah.
Somewhere Arizona, somewhere in the desert.
Last we heard of Tom, he was in the jungles of Borneo.
He's one of my Facebook friends, so if you want to find him, just search through my Facebook friends. He's there.
Okay, all right.
I'm taking my shoes off now. I mean, actually, the temperature is going up considerably while I'm talking to you right here. Jennifer Rem, for the people that don't know, Jennifer Rem, you took over for Chuck. It was Chuck Meyer, Tom Hopkins. I don't remember the exact order of the news directors.
It was Chuck Meyer, then it was Tom Hopkins, and
then it was
Tom
you.
left, and I became the news director at IOD, and was there until '96, and then I hightailed it up to Palm Beach County.
Right, but Jennifer, I know you remember, but the audience might not remember because they were on the outside and we were on the inside. And I think it happened very organically, that eventually it became an all-female news staff. And boy, were those great days. You walked into the newsroom and it was beautiful in there. Everyone was beautiful and vibrant and vivacious, and I think it happened just very organically. It's not like you methodically went and sought out. It was who was available and who was there, and people left and other people applied, and little by little we had, I think at some point there were maybe 6 people. Well, how many people did you have under you? No pun intended. In the news department.
Honestly, I've lost.
Because I thought there were 6 of you total, you and 5 other beautiful professional news ladies.
There are a couple of really nice-looking guys, too, and I wish I could remember his name. I used to call him the stupid G.I. Joe. I cannot remember his name, but he works for the county now.
Corey
there are a
Sabin.
couple of good-looking guys there as well.
Was it Corey Sabin?
No, it wasn't Corey Sabin. He ended up here at Channel 25, the ABC affiliate in West Palm Beach, and now he's gone out on his own. He has his own business.
Huh.
But no, it was somebody else, and wow, isn't that awful that I can't remember his name? I remember his face, though.
I don't remember any of the other lady. I mean, I remember Jackie Bales, and I remember we had another Jackie, and I think there was a Laura who was a half Indian and never wore a bra.
I don't remember her.
I do.
That's something you would remember.
Who ended up going to...
Yeah, I would totally remember that.
Going to Texas.
It was important. Lots of things. We had some nice times. I remember because you were. I mean, we're all really nice to each other. I try to explain to people how it was at WIOD. We were a very professional family. We really enjoyed each other's company, and we enjoyed each other's work, and we complimented each other on each other's work all the time. We really took pride in what we were doing. And I remember one day, it was raining. I was coming into work, and it was raining, and you had your top down on your Jeep. And it was starting to rain, and I knew that you would be on the air, and I'm going to run upstairs and tell Jennifer that it's starting to rain, but I knew that you were about to start a newscast. You're not going to be able to come down and deal with it. So I put your top down and snapped it all up. And I don't know how you knew it was me. You walked into the control room, and she said, George, did you close up my Jeep? Did you put my top down on my Jeep? And I said, yeah. And you said, thank you. It was the most wonderful, warm, heartfelt thank you. How did you know to come and ask me? How did you figure that out?
You were just that kind of guy. You were always thinking of everybody.
He still is.
Aww, thank you. Yes, I'm a nice guy. I have a nice guy open.
You're a nice man.
Now that we're back in touch on Facebook and everything, and you're West Palm. It's practically right there. Do you ever come down to this end of town?
Oh, sure. My family's all still down in Miami. I would love to come back to Miami.
Well, let's. I'm in Hollywood. It's we call it the happy in between. But let's make plans to make plans. How's that? And catch up.
Absolutely, definitely. And tell me about the services that are planned for Neil.
I will. I spoke to Norm this morning. I said at the beginning of the show it probably won't be this week. Neil wanted to be cremated. He is going to be, if not has already been, and there's going to be a service. For the public at some point. Norm's going to let me know, he'll be posting something in the paper, and I'll let everybody know on my end and posting it on Facebook and everything, but certainly there's no way that you won't know. He decided, under the advice of everybody, that this week would be, there are too many people out of town to do anything this week, so we're going to do something, next week.
Well, it was great to hear your voice again, and I'm sorry that we're talking under these circumstances, but I do look forward to seeing you in the future, and I wish you the very best with your show.
Thank you, Jennifer. Well, you're going to be on it. We're going to drag you into the studio here.
Partly cloudy and windy, cold with highs around 60. 55 degrees right now. Next news update 3 o'clock. Bulletins at once. I'm Jennifer Rem. News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio 610 WIOD.
Sounds like you just signed out, Jennifer. All right, we'll be in touch. Oh, and that was her sign-off. She just hung up on us over there. All right, we'll take another break, come back with Bob Green. We could have had them on at the same time, but...
Phil Henry was on last week.
Right.
He's coming back, Phil?
No, Bob Green,
back?
the real Bob Green.
Oh, the real Bob Green.
Yeah, you're so used to hearing the fake Bob Green that you totally forgot that there's a real one out there.
I'm going to press 3.
Okay. It's 212, SoFloRadio.com.
SoFloRadio.com. Radio's dirty little secret.
If your party snacks taste like hell, this year at Christmas serve cheeses of Nazareth. Your guests will say, holy cow, when they bite into these sinfully rich treats. And cheeses of Nazareth come in a variety of flavors, from jalapeno to hallelujah. Get the snack he would have liked, and the taste worth praying for. Cheeses of Nazareth. It's your salvation this Christmas. There's a Cheeses of Nazareth shop on Business Loop 80, right next to Chrysler Almighty Motors.
The American Cheese Council reminds you that everything tastes better with cheese.
I hate broccoli, except when my mom melts cheddar cheese on top. Then I even ask for seconds.
Yes, there's nothing like cheese to make things taste terrific.
I'm a sideshow geek in a circus, and I eat ground glass for a living. My secret? I top the shards with grated Parmesan. It tastes great, and the cheese helps to absorb the blood.
That's right. Nothing tops things off like a big, sweaty glob of cheese.
My husband likes me to, do him, but I hate the taste, so I just wrap it in an individual slice of American cheese. It goes down easy, and that makes it easier to go down.
Cheese makes everything taste better. So remember,
don't forget the cheese.
Do you know who we are? SoFloRadio.com.
Bring spice to your life with AfterglowParties.com and tickle your fancy with an assortment of pleasure objects and toys, lotions and lubes, massage products, games, candles, and the highly sought-after vibrating sponge. Plus, so much more. Spice up your bridal shower, birthday party, or just a girl's night out. Let our experienced Glow Girls show you how with an Afterglow party. Much like a Tupperware party in the privacy of your own home. You'll have a lot of fun trying out the items, and our Glow Girl will explain how to use them. If you want an Afterglow party of your own, or just want to place an order, call 305-408-1116 or go to AfterglowParties.com. Ladies, you haven't lived until you've experienced your very own vibrating sponge. That's 305-408-1116 or go to AfterglowParties.com. We'll never tell.
Buy the best custom full-color balloons with your photo, logo, or design that will blow your next party or event away with PhotoBalloonStore.com. Take a look for yourself and see why PhotoBalloonStore.com is the place for full-color, custom-printed photo balloons. Our balloons are not made out of rubber, latex, or mylar. They're made from a durable aluminum foil composite film that keeps them inflated longer than any other balloon sold. 11 inches in diameter, uninflated, 9.5 inches inflated. These balloons can be reinflated over and over again. Cheer on your Miami Heat basketball team at home or the arena with our version of the Miami Heat Dream Team balloon. These limited edition memorabilia balloons are available for only $6.95 for a limited time. Visit PhotoBalloonStore.com for more. Order yours today. We deliver on time and fast. PhotoBalloonStore.com. SoFloRadio.com. Give us a call at 954-99-00036. Mobile users call 954-990-0036. And for those of you living in the past, call Butterfield 990-0036. Skype name SoFlo Radio.
Sometimes I feel myself.
From Palm Springs to Palm Beach, she's filled every basement rec center in the country. And now, get ready, Hellendale.
Yesterday,
because Liz Welch is going to blow your colostomy bag.
I love you true.
This Sunday, one afternoon only, on her Singing Blue Hair Over America tour, Liz Welch. Liz Welch, this old bag really kicks ass.
If I ever fall in love again.
Sunday afternoon in the basement rec room of Senility C's condominium in Hallandale. Liz Welch with special guest, the sing-along king, Frankie Alone.
Let me call your sweetheart. I'm in love with love.
And the Pocono Prince, Sid Blacknagin.
You're cheating on me. Oh, it makes me so blue. Are you crying and crying the whole night through?
Advance tickets on sale now at all Early Birds Wine and Dine cafeteria locations. A night of music to remember, but you probably won't.
Goodbye.
Liz Welch, as close still live as perfectly possible. A coffin door concert presentation.
Hi, everybody. This is Phil Hendry, and I know in my show during the week I speak with many different tongues, many different voices, but I want to be serious and talk to you person to person about our trip to Ireland, March 13th through the 20th for St. Patrick's Day. We're going to go round-trip air from Miami to Dublin on British Airways. Excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. Round-trip Miami to Dublin on British Airways. 6 nights first-class hotel accommodations with daily Irish breakfast, a sightseeing tour to Trinity College, see the Book of Kells, darn it, I'm doing it again there. You can go with us to the St. Patrick's Day March. We'll be in the parade, in the St. Stephen's Green Parade, and party that night at the Lord Mayor's Ball. The welcome reception and farewell dinner will be at the Abbey Tavern. Oh, please help me, I'm doing the voice again. A party in Miami 2 weeks prior to departure to meet everyone. You can collect your travel documents and receive a free gift. Please, God, I'm not really Irish, am I?
You can join Phil in Ireland for as little as $16.85 per person based on double occupancy. To reserve your place, call Lakeside Travel at 1-800-782-4898. 1-800-782-4898.
Wow, 218, SoFloRadio.com. I'm getting emailed, hey, the fake Tom Jicka, just die already. Just go somewhere and die already. I can't believe it. And by the way, Bill wants to know when we're going to get Phil Hendry on. Last week, Bill, and maybe on again, but just...
Hi, George.
Bob Green, ladies and gentlemen, the real Bob Green.
Oh, it is? I thought that was Phil now.
You understand, I kept saying that we're going to have Bob Green on, and people thought that I was going to have Phil back on doing a voice. Nobody, you understand, Bob, you don't really exist. You're just a made-up Phil Hendry character. You're a made-up character like Margaret. That's a lot of people believe that. To this day, people don't realize that there actually is a real Bob Green, and he really was our general manager there at WID. General manager part 2 for Neil's tenure there. And the king and overlord of some really good times. As a matter of fact, it's because of Bob Green. My wife still bitches at me to this day about me making her wear high-heeled boots to the cowboy Christmas party. As a matter of fact,
which was the only party we got Neil to go to.
Right. Well, how perfect was that? That was a disastrous party. It wasn't your fault. It just so happened. Because who can predict these kinds of things? It was cold and drizzly. The ground was all wet and muddy. My wife's heels kept sinking into the peat, into the soft growth. The wind blew out the sterno that was supposed to keep the food hot, so the food was cold. The wind was coming from the direction of the stable, so we got wafts of cow, horse urine while we were eating. And the cowboys that were there performing at the rodeo kept hitting on all of our women, which is about the only thing that was funny. About the whole night.
It was all about creating memories.
Oh boy, did it! Because just recently I asked, I hang out with people, I go places with cool people, and I asked one of my female friends to wear heels because she's tall, and I wanted her to look taller. It makes me look like a pimp, and of course she wears heels, and we wind up walking, and her feet wind up getting all blistered and sore. So she's yelling at me, "Why'd you make me wear heels, bastard?" And I said, wow, you sound like my wife, and we haven't even done it yet. So I told my wife that story, and she wants to meet this person so that she can say, yeah, my husband's an asshole. He makes women wear heels because it makes him feel like a big shot when he's around tall women. All because of Bob Green. This is the legacy that you have left the world.
Well, I'm happy to take credit for that.
So how are you, Bob? How you been?
I've been great.
I know you retired and now you just I don't know, you swim in gold or something. I don't know, what do retired people do? I don't even know.
Well, let's see. I play tennis 6 days a week with unhappy country club housewives.
Oh,
yeah, which is fun.
I don't play tennis, but I'll be the ball boy.
No stranger to that.
Yeah. That, and I go to the gym, and, just sort of hang out.
Sounds awful. Sounds terrible.
Yeah, I know.
How can I rescue you from that, Bob Green?
Anytime.
Well, it's good talking to you again after all these years. The circumstances are sad. What we're doing here is we're giving people the opportunity, and it's selfish. It's for us. It's for all of us. We're doing this radio style. Everybody call and share their Neil Rogers stories, their Neil Rogers experiences, how they met Neil, what they thought before and then afterwards, and certainly you and Neil had a lot of times run-ins, good, bad, and ugly. I wanted to get your take on Neil.
Well, Neil was, he was everything that everybody said he is. He's, he was the most talented person that I ever had the privilege of working with. And there were days that he was very difficult, as you know. He could be a whiny baby, and, that always made for interesting confrontation. But I also know that there was nobody who had the talent that he did, and I had great respect for him. And did well beyond the time that we worked together. So I have only good memories and great thoughts.
Well, good. Oh, geez, I was hoping to get a lot more out of you than that, Bob. I'm sorry to get you.
What do you want me to tell? You want me to tell?
I want if you have a story, if you have a Neil story, because certainly there was a time, you replaced Mike Disney.
Yeah.
He was the
Neil and I got along really, really well. I mean, we worked together for I think it was 6 years. And for the first 5 years, I thought we got along really, really well. And then that last year that we were together, when the station was being sold, Neil basically held me responsible for that, which is, certainly his prerogative, but I really had absolutely nothing to do with that. That was a decision that was well beyond the scope of what I was responsible for. But that certainly had an impact on how he felt, and, it was unfortunate, but up until that point, we did a lot of stuff together.
Well, there was no
hockey games together.
I mean, there was the excuse that we got from the company when Bob Neal came down is that WIOD wasn't making as much money as they hoped that it would. And I'm thinking, well, I know that Bob Green wasn't not trying to make money with WIOD.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they're doing now, relatively speaking. I mean, all things being averaged out, with the economy being what it is. But I thought we were kicking ass. We certainly were dominating the ratings.
We were dominating the ratings, but there was also a lot of bloated expenses there that I really fought against, but they were beyond my decision-making capacity.
He's talking about the Dolphins. Talking about the Dolphins, right?
Dolphins, sports, the whole news operation. We didn't need to be a news station at that point.
We had Jennifer Rem was just on. We had a full-service news staff with reporters, news vehicles and things like that.
Yeah, we had big news.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Really.
And that was extremely costly.
Sure.
And, you remember that whole commitment to South Florida's morning news and all that?
Oh, yeah.
For a while, and that was...
We had Chuck on last week, as a matter of fact, reminiscing about the old days.
Did you really?
Yes, we did. Tom Hopkins and Phil was on last week. We're trying to get everybody that was part of that whole thing, because I didn't realize it going into it. I was a country bumpkin. I didn't realize when I showed up to work there that I was... eventually I did. I came to realize that in the middle of it, that I was part of a phenomenon that was really unique, that was not going on anywhere else in the country. I can't think of any place or any time where an AM station was really competitive with the FMs and winning a lot. The Neil Show was number one a lot of times in spite of WLYF and a lot of other things that were going on.
Yep. Well, the lineup that we had on that station was unbelievable for a while. It really was. There was no other lineup in the country that was as unique and as talented as, when we had Rick and Suds and Neil and Phil, and then Randy, and then Aaron Summers. Yeah, it was.
Oh yeah, Aaron Summers.
Yeah.
Wow, last I heard she was selling sex toys in Orlando. Happy honey bears.
I'm sure she's selling a lot of them.
Of course, you heard about Steve Nickel.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Wasn't ready for that. Although he was another. He lived it up. Shall we say?
Yeah.
That's one of the things I liked about Steve Nickel is that he was a party guy, and so were we all.
He was a party guy, and he lived kind of a hard life, no question.
I got an email from Steve Ziegler, saying that he doesn't remember a couple of things that I did. I remembered some kind of markings on the floor. I said paint. It might have been tape. Remember how people would always walk into those studio doors People would walk fast down the doors, and the studio doors opened out into the hall. Was there ever a time when an attempt was made to mark the floor to keep people from walking into those doors? Because I remember something being... Yes, thank you, Steve. I mean, thank you, Bob, because Steve's like, I don't remember that. I think Steve's accusing me of making up stories. I don't have to make up stories. We have enough crazy shit that went on there, that place. Do you remember Rick and Suds shooting the potato gun into the station boombox and denting it?
Yeah, I sure do. Yeah.
No, those are the fun days. Do you remember Beanbag Chair Day when a sponsor brought in a bunch of beanbag chairs and we all took turns running and jumping into the beanbag chair pile?
Yes.
Thank you. Hey, there you go, Steve Ziegler. I'm not making shit up. Jesus Christ, I don't know why you think... as if. And I'm probably forgetting half of the crazy things that happened in that place. Just because I'm a stoner.
It was an insane place.
It was. And management, and I say this, to your credit and Disney and Gary Bruce, management let us, because that was Gary's line. We're number one, leave them alone, was what Gary would say when people tried to put a stop to the zany shenanigans that we were always up to. This is what we did. That was a time that, you see movies about this. You see movies about radio, like FM and this and that. None of those fake, made-up movies come close to the reality that was our situation there at WIOD. And
that was the great thing about going to work there. You never knew what was going to happen the next day. And I really try to encourage, people pushing the envelope as much as possible.
You did. We appreciated that.
That's what made it a fun place to work.
We broke rules. We used the rule book as a to-do list, just breaking rules one after another. The audience really appreciated it. I'm getting so many emails and Facebook messages from people that remember, what was going on and how it was in those days. It's funny. I was very lucky because I didn't like talk radio. I had my opinion of talk radio was that it was for old people. When I went to work in talk radio, I was just taking a job. I didn't realize that it could be fun, and I didn't think for a minute that it would be my career. I thought, I'm just going to run these controls and take my check and go home. And we were part of a really, really special thing and a special time that will never exist again, even though I'm using the IOD template for our little online radio station over here. I really believe that there's room in a community. Every community ought to have a general interest radio station. It's embarrassing, I think, that this town doesn't have a single one. 5 million people and not one general interest talk station. We got enough shenanigans. We got enough, I keep saying shenanigans. We got enough material in this town for a radio station, if you ask me.
And we certainly proved that by running a station in that way, that you could get great numbers.
And during Andrew, were you the GM during Andrew?
That was I got there a week after Hurricane Andrew.
Oh, how about that? I didn't know. Because it's funny, we had an all-news station, yet the entire town listened to WIOD because we were interactive, because we were the ones with the talk shows where people could call in and be a part of what was going on. Our ratings increased, doubled, but talk about good timing. And Chuck was remembering that. We turned the conference room into an information gathering and dissemination room. It was really an important thing that we were doing. And to think that there's nothing in this town that would do that now if the same thing ever came along. That's just kind of tragic.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
But it was a really fun time. It was nice. You were a great GM, I thought, in my humble opinion. As opposed to, we went to work for WQAM where the general manager openly hated me, and I'm not being funny or facetious or a smartass over here. Right, one after another, just openly hated me. Well, Joe Bell didn't openly hate me; he only privately hated me. But Greg Reed had insult George contests. He would actually hold meetings specifically to rip me and offer cash prizes to whoever could come up with the best George insult, because I wasn't a sports head, because I wasn't a jock licker like he was. Talk about a hostile work environment. That's where I for 10 years I worked in a hostile work environment where the general manager just hated the sound of my name and the sight of my face. It was so bad.
So that's too bad.
I've got thank you. Go ahead. Say something good.
I mean, you know that I loved working with you guys, and that includes Neil.
Yes.
My first and fondest memory was Neil sitting outside my office at Cheryl's desk every morning, opening his mail, and just shooting the shit for half an hour before he went on the air.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just always a great time. It really was.
It was fun times. Thank you, Bob. Thank you for sharing it. Now that we're in touch, I'm saying this to everybody. Let's get together sometime. Visit our little operation. Absolutely. I'll impress you. How what
maybe
we
at
can
a swing club next time.
Hey, we're reconnecting with the people at Trapeze. Want me to bring you along? I got real close to hooking you up before. I think I could probably do a better job these days. I'm way more connected than I was in those days, Bob.
Talk to you later, George.
Absolutely. Take it easy. Yeah, boy, I know some people that you want to meet might want to meet you. Bob's a fun guy. Bob was a good guy. And I saved, and I hung up on him. I saved all the little kudos notes. It's part of my little scrapbook / resume book. All the little kudos, all the little thank you notes, all the pats on the head and on my back and on my ass. Job well done by Bob Green and Mike Disney and Gary Bruce and all these people. Got to get Gary on here. He's on the Facebook. That'll be those will be some stories because he was there. Oh, and Bob Green. We'll get Gary and Bob Green on at the same time because that lawsuit. Remember that?
Do you remember when Rick and Suds did a live show from Disney World?
No. But I bet you Suds
We'll ask Gary about that, because I was involved with that.
Were you?
So long ago, even I don't remember.
Were you goofy?
I was the goofy sidekick. One of the recent articles published, again, sidekick.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Okay.
These people, they have no idea. I had a title, goddammit. 27 till 3 on All Sidekick Radio, SoFloRadio.com.
Let me tell you, Montel's got a great ass. I'll go on record right now. Montel Williams has got a great ass.
Passion Phones, 8 p.m. till midnight on News, Talk, and Entertainment Radio, 610 WIOD.
More listeners than any sports station anywhere. SoFloRadio.com.
What is a fruit? It's Drew Michaels on the radio.
Oh!
That fruity kind of guy that brings the ratings flaming to the ground. What a squishy little filly. He floats about while he does his show.
Okay.
Since I've heard him, I gotta tell ya, his show's not the only thing that blows.
Oh!
What is gay? It's Drew Michaels on the radio.
I'm going to have fun. I hope everybody else does, too.
I think he's really sweet, the way he levitates when he walks. Gaze when he giggles, when he giggles, when he goes.
Unbelievable.
Gaze when he giggles, when he gawks.
Okay.
The Nicole Sadler Show, weekday mornings at 10 on the South Florida Radio Network.
SouthFloridaDiscounts.com. SouthFloridaDiscounts.com. This website is crazy. SouthFloridaDiscounts.com. Electronics, dining out, real estate, automobiles, boats, yachts, golf clubs, crazy discounts, jewelry, and more. SouthFloridaDiscounts.com. SouthFloridaDiscounts.com.
After rocking South Florida for over 30 years, she's back. And she's South Florida's classic rock again. She's only rockandroll.com. She's only rock.
Custom Graphics produces all you need for weather-durable and fade-resistant decals, bumper stickers, and yard signs. Using the highest quality UV inks and materials, silkscreen printed to last. Consecutive numbered parking stickers for schools and associations. Bumper stickers for sports teams, clubs, and businesses. Custom Graphics can subsurface print or control panels. And they specialize in product labeling that endures moisture and handling. Custom Graphics in-house art department can help design what you have in mind, or incorporate any logo you may already have. Call 1-800-642-8444 and check out the Custom Graphics website at customgraphicsinc.com. Get the SoFlo VIP Toolbar. It's free. Be a SoFlo VIP and get free stuff. Sponsor discounts, free apps, special promotions, and more SoFlo fun. Download our VIP Toolbar at SoFloVIP.com. It's free. SoFloRadio.com. Give us a call at 954-99-00036. Skype name SoFlo Radio. Mobile users call 954-990036.
This traffic update is a service of the only sponsor we got. It's the parking lot now on the Palmetto Expressway. You know, we got the usual delays. It's rush hour. We got a few collisions. One on 27th Avenue, another one on 47th Avenue. Could be northbound, I don't know. Might be southbound, I don't know that either. Could be eastbound. We don't know. We can't see nothing from this room. It don't have no windows. It's backed up, a major problem all the way around the big curve. And I'm not talking about my ass. That's your eye, spy. Don't shoot me out of the sky of traffic. From your traffic chica, I say yes, W-I-A-I-O-D. Okay, Steve, how was that? Do you think I could have the job, please? I got a great ass.
I don't want justice early in the morning on IOD. Oy vey. I don't want justice on Saturday morning on IOD. Oy vey. His shows are boring. They give me gas. Just put Jenny Rand on and can his ass. Cause I don't want justice every Saturday morning on IOD. Oy vey. Why do they call it a magazine? He's got me missing old Meg Green. Don't care about fishing and taking polls. Calls from Ellis Rubin and those same old assholes. I don't want justice early in the morning on IOD. Oy vey. I don't want justice every Saturday morning on IOD. Oy vey. His shows are boring. They give me gas. Just put Jenny Rand on and can his ass. Cause I don't want justice every Saturday morning on IOD.
It's terrible.
Oy vey. Gotta get Jenny Rand on. Oh! Gotta get Jenny Rand on.
Oh, my.
20 till 3, SoFloRadio.com. Just, I don't know why. Hey, thank you, Fake Tom Jicka, sending me some email over here. It just goes on and on and on. And I can hear myself back in your thing. And you can't wear headphones. Why? Because you don't own a pair?
It's configured. I can't put them on here.
You don't have a headphone jack? So should I call Skyler? Did you get the thing from Skyler this morning?
I played it.
Oh, okay, all right. I didn't. That was the thing at the very beginning, at the very top?
Mm-hmm. I'll play it again if you like.
Oh, maybe. Well, I was thinking of calling Skyler right now. He sent the number. I don't know if he's available to take my call. We'll find out.
All right.
I'm dialing it. It's calling. How come I don't hear any...
He's still in Looneyville.
I don't hear any ring... What? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Jim Skyler?
Hi, I can barely hear you.
Well, I'm shouting over here.
Oh, are you really?
Wait a minute, you called the wrong number. That's Lee Fowler.
Jeez! Talk about long-distance dialing.
Get a load of that guy.
Last time, Jim Skyler did a lot of the funny bits. I'm setting you up for the audience over here, Skyler.
Oh, good. Yeah, because I take a lot of explanation.
Shit, I don't have time to explain you in great detail. Last time that I heard Jim Skyler's name, Boca Brian was playing me a voicemail that you left on his machine where you were just ripping me an ass for being on the air at all, filling in for Neil. You were beside yourself with confusion as to why Neil would put my whiny, nasally ass on the air at all. Just, I can't believe George of all people, George, you just couldn't believe
George,
it. Yeah.
I have no memory of this. I
do. It keeps me up at night. I cried. You have no idea how I cried. My friend Jim Skyler, I sat for 3 hours in a production room with Jim Skyler, waiting for him to get a bit just right, and I cried.
George, calm down. My opinion isn't worth it. Believe me.
Oh, well, that's what I had to conclude finally, so that I could go on with my life.
It really doesn't matter what I think, George. Honest to God. It really doesn't matter. Ask anybody. When has anybody ever done anything based on what my opinion of it was? Never. That's
never.
When. So don't worry about it.
I got you back.
I certainly don't feel that way now.
Okay, well that's good because I
feel listening to this damn internet radio all afternoon, and it took some doing because my computer crapped the bed this morning. It did.
That's funny. I did too.
Huh?
I took a fiber bar last night, and I crapped the bed this morning, too. What a coincidence.
Well, there you go. Maybe my computer's getting too much fiber.
By the way, Andy Rubenstein, stop trying to video call me. We don't do video calls on this radio show, goddammit. So Jim Skyler did a lot of the really, really famous bits. Speaking of Lee Fowler, is he still alive?
No, sir. He died quite a long time ago. As a matter of fact,
let me take him off the list.
Be that as it may, as a matter of fact, in closing, he was the same age I am now when he died, 58.
Wow, you're 58?
Yes, sir.
God.
Yes.
You don't look a day over 57.
It's my IQ, by the way.
Well, I'll blame the drugs for that. Well, no, I blame the drugs for my particular case.
Go ahead. Ask me what I'm doing now.
Hey, Jim Skyler, what are you doing now?
ABFR. Anything but fucking radio.
I guess that's because you want to eat.
Well, no, it's because I've had enough. I mean, even if you're not on a right-wing station, the company you work for, chances are a bunch of right-wing jerks.
Yes.
So what is the point? That's why, I admire you for having the initiative to get up and do what you're doing now, because that's the only way to get the job done anymore.
Well, it's where everything is going anyway, as you know, so you might as well just go ahead and set up shop over here. Everything is migrating over here. So.
I mean, there's no technology more dependable than good old-fashioned analog AM radio, but unfortunately... Unfortunately.
Quality, too. Don't forget the quality. Don't forget that high-quality mono you get from it.
Yeah, like this phone line. What the hell is going on?
I don't know. I don't know why you can't hear me. It must be you, because everybody else has been...
And it always is. Remember the Hindenburg disaster? That was me.
Like it was yesterday.
I'm to blame for everything.
That was you. That was you smoking.
Any employer of mine, I'm to blame for everything.
It was a non-smoking flight. It's all your fault.
Yeah.
So you're up in like West Palm or something?
No, hell no. Where did you get that nonsense?
I don't know.
I'm in Massachusetts, for Christ's sake. There's a blizzard today.
Oh, Massachusetts.
I've been sitting inside and shivering, listening to your show all afternoon.
Well, I don't want it to make you feel sad. I mean, it's a little cool here, but it's blue skies, sunny.
Hey, how's my old keyboard, Jim?
Huh?
How's my old keyboard
Brian?
Boca
Brian, thank you very much for that keyboard, but it's been regifted. I got about $5 for it at a yard sale. I have a much better one now, but I haven't even hooked it up. That's how much I really, produce anything anymore.
Speaking of produce, Jim Skyler, what are some of the famous bits? Young Neil, is that the most famous one?
Young Neil is the best known, and that was my daughter playing Neil.
That's great. How old is she now? 40?
28.
Okay.
And gorgeous.
Yeah.
Keep your paws off.
Does she
Fortunately,
fool around
she's in
you?
Hawaii.
Does she like short, balding, married Cubans?
No.
Okay, well then, I'll move along.
Yes.
That's my come-on line. It works like a charm.
I have 2 more daughters, and I'm not releasing any details to you, mister.
I have 2 daughters also, so don't even
yeah,
worry
but they're small.
No, 22 and 8. I'm a 22-year-old. Yeah,
one's 22?
Dude, I'm 46,
oh my God.
old man. I'm 40-freaking-6. Yeah.
I'd give my left nut to be 46.
I'm sure you might wind up giving your left nut anyway. So what are some of the other funny bits? Because we're doing a chronology.
Cafeteria Santa.
Oh yeah, that's great.
How much is that doggy in the?
That's
thing?
one of my favorites.
The very first one was an idea that Jazz McKay stole from someplace. And he was on earlier
today.
Yes, I heard him.
Okay,
I know.
sorry.
When did Bakersfield become part of the L.A. market, George? That's what I want to know.
Like I know. Everybody's in L.A. If you're in California, you must be in L.A.
The sad thing about McKay is he's really not a biker at all. He has a debilitating skin disease, which he's trying to disguise with tattoos.
Those are just veins.
Take that, you right-wing son of a bitch!
So you were saying something about a famous bit that he stole.
Oh, yeah, well, he stole the idea for Neil Rogers disease. Somebody else done something similar, but we did Neil Rogers disease, which causes everybody to start talking like Neil. Right. And we played that on our long-forgotten show on Hot 105. Mm-hmm. And then for some bizarre reason, I decided to take it over to Wynn's flipped it over to the bird.
Mm-hmm.
And the next thing I know, I'm driving home to North Palm Beach, and I'm listening to Winds, and there's the bit. And I'm thinking, oh, great, now we're going to get ripped a new one. But he loved it. And that was the beginning. And then I, did a bunch of other crap after that.
Hold on to it. We'll play that after his call. We'll play that in
you can play my, I don't know if you still have my tribute to Guitar Man.
Yes.
Yes. He was.
Famous.
Yeah, that was that. I have nothing but respect for Guitar Man and Boca Brian and Mitch Lewis and all those other schnorrers who have produced stuff for nearly 2 years. And of course Lee Fowler Jr. calls. I would did
There's a fake Lee Fowler out there.
I was the fake.
Oh, I see. Talk about aiming high. What it's going to be.
Yeah. Hey! I worked with a guy. Don't leave Lee alone.
I never met him. I don't know from Lee Fowler.
Oh well, no, Lee was.
Lee Fowler, right here. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
The hell do we pay you? By the way, the O.J. Simpson thing. The mansion goes on the auction block today. And
I've got him. Got Lee.
Wow.
That was far too small a sample to properly encompass my enormous talent, sir. I'm outraged.
We're radio time tripping over here.
He was great, Lee, and a really nice guy. George would have liked him if he met him.
Oh, wow. Well, maybe we'll time trip into the past when these people were alive. Well, they're going to stay alive forever because we have them on
It was just
recording.
an amazing time, It was just an amazing time back then.
Yes, it is.
I feel like such an old fart now because I'm nostalgic for the 80s, for God's sake.
Go with it. Go with the feeling. So I guess, hey, Boca Brian, how about a Jim Skyler block so the audience knows who the hell we're talking to and why he's important?
Can I make one
hang on to it. Not right now. Jesus Christ.
In closing?
Let me hang up on the man. Yes?
In closing, no, I just wanted to compliment Attorney Norm Kent for the sensitive way he's handled this whole situation.
Mm-hmm. Norm's been really good.
Excellent, and very comforting words that he had to release to the public. A difficult task done very, very well.
Yeah, man.
So that's all I wanted to say about that.
Okay.
Go ahead. Now, back to the comedy.
Back to the comedy.
Yeah.
Well,
stay in touch, will you?
Yeah, stay in touch. With Boca Brian.
Not you. Okay. Because you hate me like poison, and you always have.
I thought you were my friend, and you broke my heart, Jim. You broke my heart.
I'm very sorry.
I cried and cried. And then I got high and forgot all about it.
I'm not worth it. Nobody gets a rat's ass when I think about anything, George. Don't let it bug you.
My friend Jim. That bastard. I got you back. I called you an arm-flapping spaz on the air when we were talking with Neil. That's exactly what
are you bitching about,
he goes, what's wrong with Jim Skyler? And I said, Jim Skyler is an arm-flapping spaz.
Well, the show that I did proved that.
There you go. Jim, it's always a pleasure.
Let's not even get into that.
No hard feelings. We'll just pretend that we've only ever loved each other. How's that?
Okay, that's fine.
Jim. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Okay, bye.
The great Jim Skyler. So we're going to play Jim Skyler block so the audience knows what the hell it's all about?
Yeah, depending on how long you want to go.
Oh, no, coming up now, and I'll come back and talk it out. Got some things to go over. Just leave me a couple, leave me a couple minutes at the end there. 10 till 3.
How's that?
All right, SoFloRadio. All Jim Skyler Radio, SoFloRadio.
The same old restaurants? Try the Cafeteria Santeria of Hialeah.
How much is that doggy on the menu? The one with the barbecue tail. How much is that doggy on the menu? I'm sure glad the chef's out of jail.
That's right. No matter what the weather's like outside, it's always raining cats and dogs at the Cafeteria Santeria of Hialeah. We'll make your stomach stop growling and make your neighbor's pit bull stop doing the same thing. Talk about delicious. Your meal is always fresh. We kill it right on the premises. For a heavenly meal at a sacrifice price, it's the Cafeteria Santeria. Try it once. You'll eat there religiously.
How much is that doggy on the menu? The one that is fried in deep fat. Please bring me that doggy on the menu. And bring a side order of cat.
Walk, run, or catch a greyhound for the Cafeteria Santeria of Hialeah, where we give new meaning to the word pet food.
It was on a Saturday morning at exactly 9:04, but nothing could prepare me when I knocked on Riley's door. He was drowsy, he was grumpy, and in bad need of a shave. He was just about to put a cat into the microwave. I asked to use the bathroom, and he said he didn't care. He was reading the Sun Sentinel in his underwear. I looked above the toilet where the towels used to be, and there was fixed a crucifix affixed for all to see. I didn't seek salvation. I had come to mow the lawn, but I found Jesus in Rick Riley's John. Yes, Brother Rick, he changed my life upon that fateful day. 'Cause by the time I washed my hands, I'd washed my sins away. Now I'll learn to be intolerant. I'll watch Pat Robertson, and I'll vote for Pat Buchanan, even if...
What are you talking about?
I'll pretend to be a hipster, but my liberal days are gone. 'Cause I found Jesus in Rick Riley's John.
I'm winded.
When I grow up, I want to be just like Guitar Man, 'cause he's Alan Sherman in a disguise. He's better than the bridge tender, or even the tree lady, or her bastard son, the guy with the eyes. A Boca Brian and the late great Mitch Lewis are more than adequate, but even so, oh, when I grow up, I want to be just like Guitar Man, 'cause he'll wind up with his own goddamn show. When I grow up, I want to be just like Guitar Man. All he needs is just a phone and a tune. I like him much better than Paul Harvey Jr. or the lady who says cock-a-moon. If he played a gig in public, he'd get more tips than Scythe the Knife. So when I grow up, I want to be just like Guitar Man, and I'll never have to get a life. Thanks for calling, I'll never have to get a life. Rick Riley's a douchebag, I'll never have to get a life. Like it, when I grow up, I want to be just like Jim Skyler with a $30 keyboard too. I wouldn't need to buy a fancy DAT or a computer. A microphone and tape deck will do. Even a schlepper like Boca Brian has better equipment, but even so, oh, when I grow up, I want to be just like Jim Skyler. Then I wouldn't have to spend my dough. Here comes my solo. I wouldn't have to spend my dough. I think that sounds just fine.
523 SoFloRadio.com. George Rodriguez, Boca Brian, Black Monica. You're as black as we can find. Well, until we get Khalib to be a regular on the show, because we know we need a token black like Howard. Howard keeps, robbing around so that he can make racist jokes. We can play more the Condelieeza song and the Restitution song. That way, the blacker you are.
I'm not really black, but I can play a black woman on the radio.
No problem. By the way, Terry Griffin, you're going to be on the show. There are a lot of people that we haven't gotten on that I'm going to be, today, the rest of the day, tomorrow. We got meetings tomorrow, but we got to get Henry Barrow on here. Wayne Roberts, KJ, Hank, Jeff Cohen, Rick Shaw, Randy. Going to try to get Randy on. Marvin, remember Marvin Rahman? He's on the list. These are people, hey, and if you know these people, have them get in touch with me. Rimmer, maybe I'm thinking about Rimmer. Rick Riley, of course. Gary Bruce, Greg Fadick, Mike Disney, Anna Maria. I already mentioned Terry Griffin. And if you people out there, you can help me out by not just suggesting a name, but if you have a contact for these people. go ahead and contact or send me their contact information. Try to get them on there, get them on the record over here. Speaking of on the record, I keep forgetting to mention, because I totally forgot. I was supposed to be on with Sid this afternoon, Sid Rosenberg on QAM. 3:30 is when it's tentatively slated. Yeah, Mark Eisenberg and he both emailed me, invited me to come on the show and talk about Neil. Who knows what he's going to say? Probably bust my chops. Who knows? Whatever. It's all radio. It's all fun. It's all... Sure.
Hey, let's get him.
So that'll be... yeah.
Well, either way you can.
Yeah. Who's got
I don't mind dropping in now and then. Talking about...
We've got to get Howard David on the show. I'm ready.
Still around?
Yeah.
Sitting by the pool, playing Paladin races.
Got to get him on. Also, Alan Michael wants me to remind everyone that he set up the Neil Rogers Tribute site, neilrogerstribute.com, and I went there, I lit my candle, I don't know, I got to figure out how to upload videos. I got a couple videos that I don't know, maybe I could put them on YouTube, but I got a lot. I've been answering emails. I got a lot to do. I'm going crazy over here.
Not to mention IOD tape should be uploaded somehow.
Right. The audience gets to see me digging in my nose all day today on the camera. I'm not mining for gold. It's itchy. I got itchy nose, itchy eyes, the scratchy voice. It's a cold kind of thing, and my nose is really itchy. And I didn't take an antihistamine because I didn't want to talk like that all during the the show. So
pick your nose instead. It's so much prettier.
I got my monogrammed hanky. I'm not picking. I'm scratching it. It itches on the inside. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Moses at WQAM.com. Oh, just checking to see if you got a call-in number. No, and there it is. I was just mentioning it, and boom, right there. Sid Rosenberg, 3 to 7, WQAM, and I'll be on there at 3:30. I don't know, probably getting my nuts crunched by Sid. I'm going to ask him. I wanted closure on that statement. He said, I've lived more in my life than you have. I don't know what that means, Sid. Lived more? I don't know. If you mean done more coke and fucked more whores, then yes, then you win.
I don't know what
otherwise I win. Otherwise, if you're talking about anything else, if you're talking about any other activity, like more sex with different numbers of women that I didn't have to pay for, then I win. But Sid's all right, I guess. Or you taking this? I was going to suggest that you back time your mama. Hey, Monica, your mama. I want to thank everybody. It went off. It actually went off like I was having nightmares about today, Brian.
By the way, that's a clean digital version I found.
Very good. This is different. This is a different remix over here. Dig it. I want to thank everybody that we had on today. Like I'm going to even remember with Jaz McKay on, Dave Caprita, Mike Disney, Jennifer Rem, Phil Latzman. Phil Latzman was on the list, and I didn't even have to call him. He called us. Phil Latzman on NPR in the morning. The real straight-up news, the only place that you're going to get it in this town. Who else did we hear from today? Of course, Guitar Man, Adam Arnold, Jim Skyler, here recently. Just a whole...
Captain Dave Caprita.
Yes. Bye. Oh, bye, thank you.
No, wait. You know, this thing fades real early.
Yeah, well...
And it cues the bye-bye button.
Oh, well, just hold on to it over here. We'll take it up to the top. Back on Wednesday, going to try to get all these other people on here, and we're going to do a Neil Rogers tribute all through the end of the week. George, Brian, Monica, we are SoFloRadio.com. Bye.
And like.
Bye.
Okay.